or is it just bad acting?
Well, they got the girl who plays Lynn. Um, she's the same voice actress who plays Meg in Hercules.
Oh,
Hmm.
But
really?
but when yeah, just when she comes in, she's doing this like where it's like, hey, why you doing the stuff like that? I was just like, ugh. Did you have to do like the most Americanized fucking American? That's not your accent. I don't know why you're doing that accent. Oh my God, Kamaji, why are you doing it like that? I'm just like, ugh. You sound like Grace Randolph. Stop it.
Maybe
And
it's
then,
direct. Oh, carry on.
oh no, and then Chihiro's like, it's the same voice actor for Lilo, but
Yeah,
she's like way squeakier, and like when she's yelling, it's just yeah, it's really 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 grating.
I see. Because that's the thing. It's just like maybe it's the direction because the talent is good. So it's like you have,
Mm,
like you said, you have people from Lilo and Stitch. So you have two of the same people, two of the people in Lilo and Stitch.
mhm.
You've also got, yes, it's not the first Lion King, but two of the Haku and Yubaba from Lion King 2, the
Oh
mother and
yeah,
son of
shit, he
that.
is Kovu, isn't he? Yeah.
So they have some like decent kind of
Hmm.
talent.
Yeah,
It's just maybe the way they were directed was not.
yeah. I guess if you're being directed by a Japanese person, they're not gonna necessarily go like, well, they're not gonna necessarily distinguish between American accents, I guess. So they're
It
gonna go
wasn't.
like, oh yeah,
It
that's
wasn't.
obnoxious.
It wasn't even the Japanese person who was directing them. It was is it John Lesser from Pixar?
Oh,
Oh
really?
wow.
Yeah, he was the one who oversaw all the English dubbing.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Well, I don't know what the excuse is. Then you should be able to tell what an obnoxious American accent is.
Oh man.
I
But
guess that explains why
why John what?
John Ratzenberger, um, the pig from Toy Story.
Sorry, I'm confused. What's this about a pig? I mean, what about the pig? I know the
The,
pig, but
the
why?
voice actor for the pig is in. He's got a part in Spirited Away, so the
Oh,
Pixar connection.
Oh, I'm writing that line down. I want to write that into something one day. I'm confused. What's this about a pig? I mean, I know the pig. What's
What's all this about a pig? Mm.
yeah. I'm like I just want to see the parent talking about pigs and the parents who turns into pigs. I'm I just want to see the parents' reaction when they get home and realize how long it's been. And they're just like, what the didn't we just come back the same day? Like, how the is it like how long it's been since the movers came?
that reminds me actually. So I started watching Spirited Away while my mum was in the room, and it was like not even a minute into it, and she looked at me and she went, "Oh, you can tell this is good." I was like, "Okay," and then about 2 minutes later, she went outside.
I remember showing it to Eb, and she just didn't tolerate it whatsoever. She was just like, "I hate this."
Well, I've never known anybody to hate Spirited Away.
Man,
Yeah, and I think it's just
interesting.
that anime in general. She just does not get on with.
Hmm.
Oh, so anything animated or the exceptions?
Oh no, animated is fine. Anime, she really really hates.
Oh,
Oh, that
any
reminds me actually.
Sorry, I know that offended your soul a bit. Sorry, what that remind you of?
Yeah, I just remembered. So in the cinema earlier, I saw a trailer for a new anime film that's coming out. I can't remember what it's called, but
Mhm.
it's about a basketball player. I think it's called like The Last Dunk or something like that. But I
Interesting.
was going to ask because I know ages ago John used to read a manga that was about basketball, and I wondered if it was an adaptation of that.
Uh,
Well, you
probably.
you won't catch him here.
unfortunately. I wanna hear his opinion on the film. I guess I
I
can always ask him another time.
I
He's
don't think
probably
he's ever seen Spirited Away.
oh him neither.
I don't think so
I
because there was
I would be
a few Ghibli films that I was like, oh, you should watch, and yeah, I think maybe Spirited Away was one that I was surprised that he hadn't.
That's
I'm
so
more
weird that our two biggest weebs are the two who haven't seen this.
the thing is, when I explained earlier, it will make more sense for me, the reason why I haven't seen this in a lot of classics I haven't seen.
Mm.
I'm more surprised at John because he actually does watch a lot of stuff in his spare time, even if it's just playing on the other monitor while he's doing something else.
Well, it was the wait, shit. Shit. What did he call your name?
Hmm?
He said your name was like basic anime or something.
Oh
He
yeah,
said it was
it's
Baby's first anime.
yeah,
It was what?
baby, baby's first anime.
That was it.
I don't blame him. Like it's a very different approach to how like Studio Ghibli will make something. Or a lot of different animes. It's very middle of the road friendly. A lot
I
of
was,
people can watch it.
I was gonna say I think this is like a gateway anime. If you're trying to introduce someone to anime, this is probably a decent go-to.
Yeah. And
It's
it's
a good litmus test.
yeah. And I think international, like if you want your film to be like to really make it well internationally, you have to make a film like that. Um I mean, I say you don't have to. I mean, yes, Studio Ghibli does well, but Studio Ghibli has the history.
Uh-huh.
Um, and it also has a different kind of quality about it that is really hard to pull off, like fantastical worlds and to draw people into them. It's much easier to have a story that people can easily relate to without all the kind of fantastical elements and creatures and stuff. I mean, obviously they do well, but I guess it's just two different approaches.
Hmm.
Saying that on a random note, um, John probably wouldn't be surprised about this, but or maybe he would. I don't know. But I was surprised to hear that the first film to like outgross Spirited Away as an animated film, or maybe Japanese animated film, I don't know, was Demon Slayer.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Um, but do you know about it, Alec?
I've heard the name Demon Slayer, but I couldn't. Is that the one with the girl with the thingy in her
Yeah,
mouth or am I? Yeah.
yeah. So it's a kind of I guess a cultural moment at the moment. But I knew like how good quality like the production was and the sound design and music and everything. And I think it's either up for awards or won awards. But I didn't expect it to like outgross the film. So that was quite surprising because I didn't even see it come into cinemas on any kind of scale compared to like Your Name or Weathering with You or like a Studio Ghibli film or something.
I
Like,
think Demon Slayer though, because like the films are usually like omnibuses, right?
what you mean?
So like rather than being just like a contained film, it's more like
Uh,
a collection of episodes.
yeah, it's a film relating to the TV series or the anime series. Yeah,
So I guess like compared to something like Your Name or your average like Ghibli release, I guess a lot of the fan base is already there, so they don't really have to worry too much about marketing it.
mm,
Because I went to see the last Demon Slayer film like just on a whim. just because it was in cinemas, and I was
Oh,
like, oh,
really?
I might as well.
Cool. I didn't even know it was in cinemas, but carry on.
But I just like I got about half an hour in, and I was like, I'm out of my depth, man. I have no idea what's going on.
So
You
it's
think
very,
Demon Slayer would be coming on the ground floor with?
that's a
Yeah,
shame.
because it's like, the impression I got is that there's lots of like different threads going on, and
Yeah.
it was kind of like jumping around like different storylines.
Uh,
Yeah, and I was just sat there like, not a clue.
fair-
Well done,
that,
Simon.
Oh
that-
shit! I really am not the last person.
Oh,
shit.
oh, oh, have a leverage.
hello.
Evan.
Yo, dudes.
Yeah, man.
Still
Rubbish.
7
Simon
minutes
got here
later than
20
what you said.
minutes ago.
Wait, say that again, Rob?
I said Simon got here 20 minutes ago. He didn't really. He got here about 20 seconds ago.
I was gonna say. Is he traveled back in time and just been like, oh, I'm like, oh, psych.
Oh, I do a reference. What's this called? When
Spirited
you
away.
cut it, yeah, cut the line. Sorry, this is a reference that will make sense later when I explain it, unless anyone already understands it.
Not really.
I can't even spell it properly. Oh my goodness. Cut the line. Yes. Oh, sorry. Should I get started?
Emmanuel, why did you pick this film sight unseen? And
'Cause
are you surprised that you're now like second in the whole round?
Because I felt like it. Okay, see. I'm not surprised it's second. Pleased it's second. Or pleased it's rated well, and most people thought it was at least good. So yeah, pleased about that. What was I gonna say? Yeah, I think I said most of it at the end of the other call, but yeah, yes, it's been on my list for a long time to watch. It's seen as one of the kind of greatest um anime films and one of the greatest films of all time on many lists throughout the world. I've realized as well. And yeah, I've always been hearing so many good things about it. Ironically, when I had picks, I had thought, okay, I'm going to pick that film. Before I actually went to get it, like a week between saying, yeah, I'll pick that film and actually checking if it was still on Netflix, I almost accidentally picked Howl's Moving Castle. Which is still a good film, but not the pick. Because I went on a Netflix, like, wait, this is not Spirited Away. This is a different, this is not what I wanted. But to kind of answer the question before getting into it of why, or being surprised I never saw this film yet. I don't know how John hasn't seen it yet, but since
Wait. No, you don't skip over that. Did you just say John has not seen Spirited Away?
apparently
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Oh, that's bullshit. That has to be bullshit.
I mean, like, John doesn't watch much at the best of times, so it doesn't surprise me.
John says he's an anime,
Oh,
but the thing is, John says
Okay.
he's an anime expert, and he's like the guru of all anime and everything that comes to it.
he used to watch a
I feel
lot.
like I actually could fucking shed tears. You haven't watched it. Now I know. I just found out John hasn't watched it. My whole life has been a lie about you enjoying anime, and it hurts my heart. I think my soul died a bit. Oh,
Wait,
I think that's what I found so surprising. Me, Rob, and Ben had all seen it before.
I need to double check this just to make sure I'm right because it's causing a ruckus.
No, it's funny.
Alec, Rob, and Ben have seen it before. You said
I'd never seen it. I hadn't even heard of it.
What, you haven't heard of
Have
it?
you ever heard of it?
No,
Really? Even like
Yeah,
the
no,
imagery of
I
it?
am right.
like
to you.
I'm never really been that deep into anime. Like I've watched all like the popular stuff or some of the popular stuff, but I haven't really ventured that deep into anime in general.
Well, I feel like the excuse for this one is it did win like the like I would like to say the Oscar awards for like
Anim-
best animation for like during that time that it came out. So I was like, oh, it hit everyone's like radar because of like that Oscar win, and everyone goes, oh, might as well check it out because it won that Oscar, and everyone generally who watched it goes, it's actually quite enjoyable. So I'm surprised if it wasn't something like that you haven't watched it, but like.
It come out in like 2001, so
Yeah.
it definitely wouldn't have been on my radar. Like unless someone pointed it out to me, oh, this film won this award at the 2001 Oscars, then I wouldn't have really ventured out to watch it.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. I guess it's
Yeah.
if you don't watch anime typically, I guess it wouldn't be on your radar, I guess.
And the fact that I don't really watch anime movies that much, like unless it's like a Dragon Ball movie or a Yu-Gi-Oh movie or a Pokemon movie, then I've not really watched that much anime movies apart from the ones that Emmanuel's picked.
Fair enough.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I just looked back at my chat history with John just to make sure that I wasn't slandering him. And so the conversation was about a year ago because I was going to pick Spirited Away. And basically, I was talking about the lead in it being a girl, and John said it's a boy, isn't it? And I was like, no. And he was like, oh no, you're right. I was thinking of Never Ending Story. And I was like,
anime.
what do you
It's-
mean you was thinking of Never Ending Story? And that was when he confirmed that he'd never seen Spirited Away.
Yeah, for the riding of the dragon. Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess.
That was the
Like,
only thing to
that's-
have in common.
That's okay. I had a more depressing interaction because people at my work asked what we were watching this week, and I said Spirited Away, and my boss went, "Oh, is that like stop motion?" And I went, "No," and he went, "What am I thinking of?" And he went, "Oh, Flushed Away. That's what I'm thinking of." And I was like,
The only thing
Oh.
I'm Gremlins away.
And he went, "I need to. Oh yeah, no. Oh, I might actually watch that. I might actually watch Flushed Away this weekend." And I was like, "I'm sure Emmanuel will be very happy to know that him picking Spirited Away has led to someone watching Flushed Away."
Fair enough.
Never Ending Story, Spirited Away and Flushed Away would be a brilliant triple bill.
Oh,
Never
no,
ending,
man.
flushed away.
Never ending Flushed Away.
It's a, it's,
It's like my toilet in the weekend.
Yeah.
but I enjoyed it when I saw it maybe years ago. Anyway, yeah, the carry on. Oh man, I'm glad we confirmed that part. Ever since uni, I've almost never sat down to watch any movie by myself or kind of suggested a movie from like to watch together with someone from my like watch list outside of this kind of film club. I do find it difficult, and I enjoy film clubs, so don't get me wrong, don't get me twisted. Don't get twisted.
That's good.
But yeah, it's hard to sit down and watch a film, or actually make myself sit down and watch a film, because I will get up, I'll watch it in different parts across multiple days, whatever. I'm just like, okay, even with this film, I was like, it was partly mainly because I was tired, but I was just like, yeah, I'll finish it tomorrow. Okay, cool. And just like stop the film with like maybe like 20 minutes ago or whatnot kind of thing. But it's usually what I would do with the spare time I had. Especially so I don't end up falling asleep as well. That's a whole nother thing. I would play video games or read manga, and or watch content on YouTube. And those are the three things that have taken up most of my spare time since uni. And as I think most of you know, especially Pat and Simon and whatnot, open world games can devour your time like nobody's business. And there are a lot of good ones out there that I still haven't finished, like Red Dead Redemption 2.
Don't much. I'm nearly done with Zelda. I've got to finish that up before I play Pikmin.
Oh, nice.
I've-
Just Kingdom.
I've just been too ill to do anything, so I've
Well,
only
how
just
was-
turned I've only turned my PlayStation on for the first time in 10 days today.
And
You've been taking your meds for that, right? Has it been?
Yeah,
feeling-
like most of what was getting me down is sort of got cleared up by the surgery and then the IV drip, and now I'm
That's
just
good.
on like antibiotics for the next week just to make sure that it's all gone.
Good. That's good. That's good. You can hopefully we can clear up all of that.
And it's nice to be able to talk because like yesterday when I woke up, I had like I got woken up by like a sharp pain in my jaw again. But I also had swelling in like the dangly bit at the back of your throat.
Oh,
So it felt like I was choking.
so,
But
uh,
that was the result of them cutting open the abscess.
Oh,
But as the day went on, the swelling went down, and I've been feeling like better than I have been in ages. So
all
yeah.
right. I mean, all you needed is some girl to stick some medicine in your mouth and just hold it closed, and you'll have been fine. To be honest.
I was
Okay.
on medicine for a week, and it wasn't doing the thing.
oh man. I'm glad you're better now, man.
all
Yeah,
this to get out of playing tennis.
You know that I felt really bad bailing on you as well.
Oh, that's all right, man. That happens.
Because I got home from work. Like I got like a pain in my throat when I was at work, and then it got worse when I got home, and I was like, "Fuck, I can't go to this. Like I'm just gonna have to bail." And then it just gradually got worse.
Yeah, I'm surprised how bad it's got, man. So I thought
Yeah.
you just had a cold or something.
I just thought it was normal tonsillitis,
Yeah.
but it was a lot worse. So basically, if it had spread more, I would have had my tonsils taken out.
Oh Jesus.
So like this, say my fingers, my tonsils, the infection was about here.
Mm.
So, it was about that big.
Oof.
So yeah, it was
I don't
something
know
I don't
what-
want to have again. Like it's the most uncomfortable I felt in ever.
It don't sound pleasant, man.
No, I blame Barbie. I was okay until I went to see that.
You might as well have just said, "Oh yeah, I got radiation poisoning from Oppenheimer." You might have just said that, you know.
Oh,
Okay.
God.
I had intended to go and watch that in IMAX, but I'm like, I can't be bothered now. I've had a week from hell. I just gonna just reset on everything. Like I didn't even watch this film until like late last night.
Also, if you did get radiation poisoning from,
You froze, Alex. Say again.
I said if he did get radiation poisoning from Oppenheimer, he'd still say it was Barbie.
Yeah, okay, true. That's very much true.
I'm sure that Oppenheimer will still be in IMAX cinema for a while, so you still got
Yeah,
it.
Thank you.
maybe we'll see what happens.
I mean, I think Pat's more likely to see Oppenheimer again than John is to see Barbie. So okay.
Or anything else.
Yeah.
Oh!
Wait,
Right.
quick
John,
question.
if you do watch this, I am sorry.
Look, his next
If
pick's
you do
coming
watch this,
up
I
soon.
didn't say a word.
If I'm totally honest with you, I wouldn't expect John back anytime soon.
Yeah.
No,
Um,
I
You might
think
watch the same pick.
He's trying some medicine out, so maybe that
Yeah.
might.
Yeah, so like he's on new meds now, so he usually takes about a month to sort of kick in properly. So I wouldn't, unless you like put him at the end of the next rounds, then he might be back for that potentially, but I wouldn't expect it anytime soon.
Yeah.
Quick question. I know you guys. Well, we've just watched Spirited Away. Which of the other films have you guys watched then? Because,
None of them.
like, I feel like I've watched 80% of Ghibli movies or Miyazaki movies. I'm not sure about everyone else. Is anyone like missed a few or so?
I think the only ones I haven't seen are My Neighbours the Yamadas.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen Ponyo.
On DVD.
I think this might have been my first one.
Damn. That's
I'm
Princess
just-
Mononoke, I've seen.
I'm just going to research that just in case I have come across
Yeah, let me get a list up and I'll tell you which ones I'm missing.
I've seen Pompoko and Howl's Moving Castle and Princess Mononoke and bits of Kiki's Delivery Service.
I've seen Grave of the Fireflies as well.
No, I've only seen. I think I've only seen the first 20 minutes because my friend told me off because I kept laughing.
Oh, I haven't seen
Honestly.
The Cat Returns.
And she,
Oh wait, you haven't seen the Cat's Return? Oh, the Cat's Returns is okay.
I don't think I've seen The Red Turtle either.
in that hemorrhoid.
A hemorrhoid is Paul Rosso.
And
No, it's just like because there's quite a lot of selection for his movies, and they're all kind of like have different sort of genres, I guess. But it's just like I've seen most of them. There's one that I don't think anyone would be able to see ever. It's the My Neighbor Totoro sequel. And
oh,
I'm like, yeah,
What's that called?
yeah. It's called. Wait, how many people have watched My Neighbor Totoro first?
No,
not me.
Sort of.
I've
You
seen.
know that there's a character called the Cat Bus, right?
Oh yeah, I know about the cat bus. Yeah.
This is like a short sequel about May, who is the younger sister, and the kitten bus. It's only like an hour long supposedly, but it's like so exclusive that you can't even pirate it anywhere. It's so like that's how secretive it is. It's
But
like
why?
from what I understand, it's shown in like the there's like a museum or theme park in Japan that is Studio Ghibli, and they show it there exclusively, and they're so strict with like camera stuff that it's like you can't even pirate this movie because it doesn't exist on the internet. It's just there, and I'm like, fuck, that's exclusive. I really want to fucking watch it. And it's just like. And the only reason that I know about it is because people have got like the art books and like sketches of it, and you go, "Oh yeah, that's yeah." I could see like little clips of it, and it's like, damn. Who wants to go to Japan? Who wants to go to Japan with me? Just
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
I'm good.
I can confirm that I have seen absolutely none of these films.
Okay.
Oh, no.
I've gone through the list and 1, 2, 3, 4 films I've heard of in passing in conversations, but I've not seen any of them apart from the one we just watched.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
Speaking of the one we just watched, did you finish giving your opening statement about Spirited Away?
no, not yet.
Cool.
No worries, Simon. We'll go back to Japan at some point. And multiple people can join in.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's what you said when you said which ones you have or haven't watched.
Who? Me?
Ben.
Oh.
Oh, I think I've seen Ponyo and Princess Mononoke, and I think I might have seen bits of Neighbor Totoro, but that's it. And there's
They're
something-
3 of the ones that I've heard of before.
Yeah,
Nice.
Wait, yeah, I heard of Howl's Moving Castle.
No,
and I've not seen Powers Moving Castle.
So,
I have always wanted
I'm-
to see that.
I'm interested in watching The Wind Rises just because of the name.
The Wind Rises.
I feel like this would be right up my alley.
Mm.
As, to
Oh, yeah,
tell the phrase.
A very relatable film. That
Oh, is that like the new one coming out?
what Wind
There
Rises.
is-
I think it came out. years ago.
Wind Rises is like the Studio Ghibli movie before Studio Ghibli. It wasn't actually, it was made by Hayao Miyazaki, but before he started Studio Ghibli. That's
Ah,
the movie
fair enough.
Rises.
Cool.
The new one, which we just found, well, I think I found out first before everyone else on the show, you guys, it was the Boy and the Heron. And I'm like, I didn't hear about this. So I just showed it to, I think I posted it on chat. And it's like, oh, there's a new fucking Studio Ghibli movie coming out soon.
Mhm.
When the fuck was that gonna happen? It's like, oh. So yeah, want to watch that. Just don't know when this could be out.
That's apparently Miyazaki's last film.
Apparently,
He said that a few times.
He
Apparently,
said
yeah.
this, you know, he said that about this one, right?
he said that before Spirited Away, but then he apparently he saw one of his like friends 10-year-old daughter was quite sad or sullen, and he was inspired to make another film.
Oh yeah, I mean, like mainly because like he's got a very supposedly very nice house, and like he has lots of family friends over, and like one of the daughters who's about 10 years old, and he's playing, and he's like, oh wait, I haven't made one of my female main characters about for the ages of under 10s. Let's make a final character, then we'll finish it out. Yeah, just so I've got all the age ranges, because supposedly he was like, what stories are these 10-year girls reading? So he picks up like a shoujo magazine and like romance, smutty romance. Yeah, I know. I need to find something that's more inspiring for like for girls, which I'll go into my introduction for this film. This film is great because it's kind of like half coming of age story, just kids growing up trying to understand the world, but unfortunately this world is full of magical monsters and gods and spirits and frog people and salamander ladies. So it's just like I'm trying to grow up and like survive in this world, this weird and mysterious world, and it's such a nice, like, just seeing it how our main girl just like kind of like has to live and grow up, and it's like, damn, that's sad, but it's great that she can grow up and mature with the story, and it's like, that's nice. That's my quick intro to the story.
Nice. I can't remember what I was going to say and say to what you had said, Simon, about the 10-year-old girl. But because I didn't know that was really cool. But the two films that I had, the other two films that I've seen are Ponyo and Totoro, which made me cry. I saw that with my sister.
Well, like Totoro made you cry?
Yeah, Totoro. It's moving right near the end. It's like both me and my sister cried.
Maybe.
I'm with you,
No,
Emmanuel. It makes me cry as well. I don't know.
No,
why
no.
Simon's
Maybe
crying.
maybe it's because I watched it when I was like.
You're numb to it, Simon.
Someone's
Yeah.
got
No, okay. Admittedly speaking, Totoro is like my Lion King to Alec. I had it on like VHS and I watched it on repeat, but over and over again. It's
Yeah.
like it's one of those films I watched over and over again. That and like Dumbo, but I realized Dumbo is very problematic because of the unfortunate, very racist stuff in Dumbo that I didn't realize as a kid. So let's not even go about that. Anyways,
Sounds like that.
yeah, but as a kid, it just went completely overhead. It was like,
They all do. And then you watch them later and you're like, shit.
oh shit, right, wow, fuck, ooh.
LSD trip. The hallucinogenic kind of stuff.
No, I think I understood the alcohol part. It's the very racist parts that I didn't quite get. It's really the ending with the crows. It's like, okay. It's interesting. It's like, oh, as an adult, you go, oh right, fucking like Jim Crow, right? Oh, and the character, oh fuck. But yeah, this is not the choice for this. Let's go back into this anime stuff. So yeah, this stuff is like I really like this. I really love this film. Watched it quite a lot. I think it's like one of my first ever like VCDs that I've ever owned. And I say VCDs because it's not an actual DVD, because I know it was pirated VCD because of early 2000s times where everything got burnt to a disc. The
Yeah.
reason why I know that it's a pirated VCD is because during as I was finishing watching the film, it hits the credits. You see the guy go. You see the guy do this with his camera, and you go, oh, so this is a cam from like a cinema. Oh shit! It's like, oh, and it's like on VCD. It's like, ooh, whoops. Yeah, but that was early 2000 times. Everything was on cam grips and everything was on burnable DVDs. So first VCD I've ever owned was Spirited Away.
Man. Oh yeah, to add to the 10-year-old girl thing, like the whole kind of girl is the young girl character. It's also the first film he actually used a child or a very young person to actually act the role of a child or young person. So
Wait, oh no, continue. You go first.
the voice actor was 12 to 13 at the time, but he never used someone that young to actually act the main role, apparently, in one of his films. So this is the first time.
That's quite impressive because she's really good, especially in comparison to her American counterpart. I thought she was quite like restrained.
I thought I was gonna say it's a video because like I swear to God, like he based Kiki from Kiki's Delivery Service on like one of his like producer's friends. Like he was like his character, the character design with the bow is like one of their daughters, and I was like, oh, that's an interesting design. I'm just gonna do a quick sketch of that, and it's like, yeah, we'll keep this. So essentially, they were very surprised. It's like, wait, did you just make a character from my daughter? It's like, yes. Okay, cool. It was just like, yeah, okay, sweet. So I was like, oh, sweet.
Nice. Yeah, just to finish up, basically, yeah, I already said how I find it hard to kind of sit down and watch films. So yeah, most of the time that I'll be watching films, it's something someone else suggested or wants to watch with me. It's rare that I might pick a film that's not out in the cinema at the time that I'm watching with someone else. So yeah, it's just one of those things. Same goes for any kind of TV shows, anime. Like I've watched almost no anime since uni. Like I've watched bits and pieces, but I've barely watched any. I've mainly just read manga and manhwa and whatnot. So that's how I've kept up with a lot of it, because I'll know a lot of the stories going on because I'm reading them rather than watching them. And but yeah, otherwise I'm glad y'all like this film. But yeah, that's my statement. So.
It's one of
Huh?
It's one of the best Chinese cartoons we've got.
No, fuck yourself.
What did you say,
Because
Rob?
ironically speaking, this was because unfortunately during the anime studios that they have a lot of crunch time, they actually had to split and finish off the anime by sending it to Korea and China just to finish drawing the cells for the movie, which is an unfortunate thing for, I guess, crunch time during making animes, because there's always a deadline and there's like always people like sleeping overnight in the office just to finish off like animation cells. So that's a very, very unfortunate part of like the industry. It's just sad. Say again, Manuel?
Just like gaming, innit?
Yeah, which is like that was made in 2000 and that happened. So it's like it took them like at least 20 odd years to go, maybe don't push your animators and like all your staff members into like they break down and cry in the office. Maybe that's not a good thing to the industry, you know.
Yeah.
What are you gonna say, Rob?
I was just gonna say to that quickly, like that's animation all over the world though, because like there's rumors at the moment that the next Spider-Verse film is being pushed back to like 2028, and it's like if it's being pushed back by 4 years, then how hard were you working people to get it out next year? I guess
Was
Yeah.
that what was they planning to make it next year?
it was supposed to be
There's
next
still
year,
a
yeah.
date for May next year.
Yeah,
That's
there's rumors
fucking
that it's being pushed back
ridiculous.
4 years, but
Yeah, because of the whole I think there was like an article and a huge kind of thing was exposed a couple of months ago about the last Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse had everyone's love of the film and was proud of it, but everyone was kind of like working their fingers to the bone to get this movie out the door on the date. And Sony was just holding their prisoners and just being like, this needs to go out. And everyone was just like doing like 16-hour days to get this done and get it on the line. And the
Yeah.
animators are kind of like, this is enough. We have to have more time to do this. And it's like, it shouldn't be like this. They should not be like so stressed to the deadline. And even this film, the sequel, the Beyond the Spider-Verse, it was storyboarded ages ago, but they keep changing things like how Marvel does, like Marvel Studios. Like they
Oh.
make something, storyboard it, animate it in the previous, and then oh no, let's change this again. Go back, go do it again from scratch. So they were actually basically animating it almost 90% level, perfect, and then something was overhauled, taking them back a month, and that's why they're in the state they're in, and that's why I think the sequel is going to get pushed back, and I think it has to be if they want to keep the artists happy.
It's like sounds like a Kubrick film.
Even more so. It was,
thank God he never made an animated film.
Yeah.
Man. But you were saying something
Right.
before. Oh,
I think Rob's forgotten.
No, I was just saying, like, Spirited Away is a bit of a
Oh.
weird one for me because it came out when we were 11, right? So it would have been around the time that we first started at Sydney Russell. And I have no recollection of like how I heard of it or where I heard of it or like the first time I watched it. But like, it's just one of those films that's always existed for me. Like, it's just, I don't know, just sort of always been there. I reckon it must have been like maybe the first Ghibli film I watched, or one of the first at least.
nice.
Because it would have probably been around the time when I first got the internet and I was just downloading loads of random shit. And I reckon it was probably just one of those things that I just watched one day and was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then it just sort of like stays in the back of your memory ever since. I only really started appreciating it like probably, I don't know, 6-7 years ago when I started watching like other Ghibli films. So yeah, once I watched like My Neighbor Totoro and Pompoko and like a few others and started going like, oh, okay, these are actually pretty cool. I remember going back to it and being like, holy shit, this is actually, yeah, there's a lot to this. But yeah, I just see it as like a nice kind of like comfort film. It's like the kind of thing where it's like, if it's raining outside and like maybe there's like a little bit of thunder going on, it's just nice to like draw the curtains and just have Spirited Away in front of you. And I really like it as that kind of experience.
Like a hot cup of cocoa.
Yeah, exactly that.
Okay.
I think I was
Yeah.
That was
hard
my
in
talk.
life.
I need to ascertain though. Just is it a hot cup of cocoa or not?
It's
Marshmallows or no marshmallows?
extenuous marshmallows.
Okay, fair
So many
enough.
marshmallows. And a few green ones that remind me a bit of Frank.
Right. So that took us half an hour. So does anyone want to do open statement?
Wait, people aren't finished yet. Wait,
Yeah.
Jesus fuck.
Not rushing.
what,
I'm not
just
rushing. This is the opposite of rushing.
just the funny thing. Pat's Fanta drink was blurred out as if we were blurring it out because of branding.
It might as well be. Yeah.
But then Simon
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
his wasn't blurred out because he doesn't have that. So you could see his phantom. I was just like, oh, it looked like we were blurring out like our sponsor.
Depends.
That's because today we are sponsored by KA.
Nice.
Fanta.
Please don't demonetize.
Stop blurring me.
We're
There we go.
monetizing that. There you go.
You will be blurred. Sorry, Ben, go on.
Yeah, it's funny Rob says about Spirited Away being like a comfort film that's like rainy day and stuff. It was literally a rainy, stormy day when I watched it the first time, and I
Oh,
felt
nice.
it was quite appropriate
Nice.
because it was just like it had to happen to be like on. I think it was more 4, and I was like, yeah, well, why not? I've always wanted to see it, and yeah, it was just a lovely experience, and just like it's a film that you could easily get lost into, and you just enjoy, and just you go on this adventure and this journey, and it's just fantastical and weird and strange, but it's just got a lot of charm and heart, and I think that's why it's so beloved. It's kind of like when I saw it, I was like, it's kind of like the Japanese equivalent of Alice in Wonderland meets Wizard of Oz. It has that style and that sort of like just weird otherworldliness to it. There's just weird things happen and strange things occur, and you don't really know why until the end. And then I think that's quite cute. And arguably it does. The story is more like has more thought behind it than those ones, but it has that sort of thing that made those classic stories timeless, because it's just like anyone from any age or anywhere in the world just can get swept up in it and just be involved in the fantasy and the journey of the strange creatures and the weird people she meets along the way. And I think that's what's so good about it. So yeah, that's Spirit Away.
That was like be done with you.
It's big on.
Alec, did you say yours?
No.
What's your opening statement?
Oh, okay. Thanks. Glad you asked. Yeah, I watched this in sixth form, and yeah, it's one of those ones where I'm like, it's really good, but I wouldn't call it like a favorite or anything. I wouldn't go out of my way to find it. Like if someone put it on, I'd be like, oh, cool, Spirited Away. But if it was like, what do you want to watch? There's like a billion other films like in front of it, but
Mm.
it's yeah.
That you like?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. All right, continue.
No, some of them I don't like either. I'm just like, yeah, fine. Put that on instead.
Who's farting?
You are. No.
I'm really gassy today. I don't know why. I farted in Poundland earlier and Rachel grasped me up.
Brilliant.
Fucking rude. But yeah, watched it for this. Like,
Mm.
I think I found like one issue. It's really good.
The
Like-
issue was that it's really good.
Yeah.
I mean,
New
has-
sentence. I found one issue. Full stop. It's really good. Exclamation mark.
It's the Snyder cut. What?
Definitely not. Can't say really good and Snyder Cut unless you're saying Snyder Cut is not really good.
Anyway,
You triggered Pat. Jesus.
Oh, I triggered him already today. That's fine.
fucking Barbie did that by fucking triggering me with the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
Wait, what? I thought you said there was a Snyder Cut version of Barbie for a second.
No,
Like,
they
wait, what?
There's a joke about
Warner
the Snyder
Brothers. Warner Brothers shoehorned a Snyder Cut joke into it.
Cut. I don't know. It was pretty organic. Anyway, yeah, I think I think Ben comparing it to Alice in Wonderland is interesting because I think Alice in Wonderland's got like a lot of fluffy imagery that's not like, I don't know, relevant to anything. Whereas Spirited Away like has more stuff that's relevant to the actual character and like the story and that. So but yeah, I like the kind of the dynamics and stuff at play, and yeah, really cool film.
Nice. Yeah, on that note, I think my favorite so far is Totoro. And I think it's mainly because of how it moves me. I like Spirited Away, and I really get what you was talking about, Rob, about like this comfort film. It's just like, it's just a nice film to watch and whatnot. And I really like Ponyo as well. And that was a great, fun, kind of fantastical adventure. But yeah, I think so far, obviously there's many more to watch. But yeah, I think I actually like Totoro better. But I also get why this film was so successful. Well, I think I do anyway.
As like I was saying earlier, I think this is like a good gateway anime film where if you're trying to convert someone to, or like, you know, trying to introduce someone to anime, Spirited Away is like kind of a nice sort of friendly way in.
Yeah, it's a great litmus test, like just for Ghibli as well, because it's kind of like I think if you showed someone Spirited Away and they were like, "No, I hate this film," then they're probably not going to get along with any of the Ghibli films. Because this is like, I'd probably say this is like the most universal of them. Like the ones that I like more than this, I like for like personality reasons more than anything else. Because it's like Pom Poko I love just because it's a bunch of raccoons who get pissed off at the idea of urban development, and I just think the concept of that's great. And then My Neighbor Totoro, I like.
You glossed over the ball sacks. There's a lot of ball sacks in it.
But, yeah, that and then like My Neighbor Totoro, I love just because it's like, well, it's just like a nice little adventure film, isn't it? Like it's just all about exploring and seeing the world in kind eyes. But Spirited Away, I think, is just like a universal, like, this is a good film. And if you don't like this, then yeah, I don't think Ghibli's for you.
I think it's just something as well, like Spirited, like the bathhouse, like it feels like an actual like place where people are working, and you can kind of see the cogs all sort of moving, and you're seeing people having dinner, and you're seeing people sleeping, and you're seeing people like just kind of going about their day and working and cleaning, and you're kind of seeing how the whole sort of building operates, and you kind of go like, oh, where's this? Oh, it's the boiler room. What's in the boiler room? It's this guy. He does. he's handling all like kind of all the herbal stuff and where all the water's going. What's up with him? Oh, he's got like 6 arms. He's a weird like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, what does he do? Oh, he has like enchanted soot. The enchanted soot like carries all the coal so they can put it in. And I'm just like, yeah, this all just functions. It's all just really. It's not in your face about it. It's not good, like having to explain it. It's just stuff that is there, and you can kind of go, oh, he has to turn a wheel and do like a little
he's grinding up the medicine.
Yeah, he's grinding and he's pulling the wheels and he's doing all that and he's doing the tickets and that. And it's like, oh, how's he doing it? He's got 6 arms. And you can just see that, and it's just really, really well animated, and it just looks completely natural, and it's just like, yeah, this is all pretty self-explanatory, and it all just works, and it feels real.
I feel like I've got to make a point to say the reason why you say it probably feels real is because it's excellent sound design. Because it's essentially they went to like Kyoto, went to like an actual hot spring inn, and just went and pestered everyone. It's like, don't worry, we're just recording you. Don't worry about it. It's just like all the sounds of them shuffling plates and all of them like running around and all that stuff. Yeah, that's all real stuff, because it's like,
nice. Because
they have trays and they have plates on the trays and they stack the trays, and like, what does that sound like with someone walking up the stairs? So they literally recorded someone just having those trays and plates and walking up the stairs. It's like, oh, so that's what that sounds like. Okay, we'll use that for the film. So that's like, oh, it sounds real because it's real. That's the reason why it probably feels like most natural in the, like, just everything, you know, very all the things that you don't really think about, like them, like let's talk about the kitchen scene, the guy like throwing some shrimp, throwing it into the oil and just sizzling around. And that's all real sound effects. And it's just like, oh, that's it. It's like, you can say it's the attention to detail, but it's just like, no, it's just easier to actually record those sound effects instead of making a guy pretend to make the sound effects, I guess. So it's like, it's about the same.
Yeah,
No.
but it's the combination of all, because you're animating it so fluidly, and now like, the quality of the animation is like crazy, and then it's got to go in line with the sound design that you pointed out. Like it's it's all just feels like a real place. It's like that really helps you swallow the fantasy a little easier.
Nice. That's really good. On a note about the bathhouse that I found interesting, and I was confused at first, and I kind of think maybe this is where some people are coming from. Obviously, correct me, anyone, or add anything in while I'm going along with this. Sorry, I'm going about the point. With the bathhouses, I didn't realize there was so there's 2 points in the English dub, so that people could understand what it was if they didn't know what it was. They added in the line kind of like, oh, it's a bathhouse kind of thing, near the beginning of the film, which is that makes sense. However, for quite a few people, I don't know how many, but there were quite a few who either didn't hear the line or just like heard it and thought it didn't make any sense or whatnot. They thought the whole bathhouse was based off a brothel.
Oh, you're
Wait, what, really?
you're following the damn fucking internet theory people. Fucking hell, I hate it. Fucking. Okay, you know, finish what you say first. Finish what you say.
You sure? You go first.
No. You finish what you're gonna say, then I'll break it down.
Somebody
I-
go first.
I was theorizing that anyone who who came to that conclusion really wasn't paying attention, or maybe doesn't know what's going on. Maybe their mind is going more back to some of the kind of old, really old school, ancient versions of Chinese brothels, which might have been in buildings that looked vaguely similar. And that's the only thing I could think of. Maybe some of these people had watched those type of films before where they've seen those things, and that's where their mind went. That's the only thing I could imagine.
Okay.
But you tell me.
Okay, let's break this down. All right. Okay. So back to the let's work it reverse order. Chinese brothels don't exist as a thing because this is a very long history thing. By law, you're not allowed to sell yourself on the lands of China. That's why they all did their nightly business on boats. That's why there's floating brothels. That's literally a thing. That's where you get your pirates from floating brothels. So that's a history thing entirely in itself. It's like it's a whole story about it, but let's not go back to that. The reason why that people thought that about this movie is because there's the scene where you have the radish guy, I like to say, who has like a plate for a fucking hat. Yeah, he's a radish spirit monster thing. Yeah. And like he goes up on the elevator and they stop a floor, but it's all like sort of like closed off. It's sort of dark. Then he goes, oh wait, wrong floor. Presses the button and he goes even higher to like the top floor. Mm-hmm. That floor is what everyone thinks is like, quote unquote, the brothel area, because it's like behind closed doors, and you just see like shadows moving with like the girls. But that's like, no, that's just those are just banquet halls. Those are just closed off banquet halls. But everyone thinks it's like prostitution because of what happens to our main character, the girl with Chichiro, because her name is shortened to like Sen, because they've said that essentially she was selling her identity, and it's kind of like how you get like strippers, because here we have Candy, or like here we have someone who's called dark chocolate or some shit. They said essentially
the meaning
the
of
concept
her name and the meaning of Sen.
Yeah, no. But Manuel, the whole point is it's kind of like she's got a stage name, or she sold her name, if you know what I mean, or she sold herself, if you get what I mean. That's kind of what they
Oh my goodness.
assumed. Yeah, that's the problem though, because like Miyazaki went, no, that's not the point of this fucking film. That's not what I was trying to do with this film. Because he's actually gone on record and says that's not what this story is about. Because unfortunately, because you followed this like reasoning, you're also gonna be one stage away from the people who says Totoro is the god of death. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with these internet theory people? I fucking hate it so much. Have you ever heard about one there? That Totoro is actually the god of death, and it's like, and like both of those girls are actually dead, and everyone else in the film is like pretty much dead as well. And it's like, yeah, everyone's dead. Yeah, because Totoro is deaf, and it's just like, what the fuck is wrong with people? I hate it so much. Hate it so much. But yeah, that's not what that's where that theory comes from, because of her selling her name. And it's just like people make some fucking wild theories.
And the internet.
Yep, the internet. And the internet is the problem. But then again, that's not new to anyone. The internet's always been a problem.
Oh man, that's crazy. Talking about meaning of I know like you're talking about the name and stuff, but going into like the meaning of the names and stuff, like I can't remember the meanings of all of them properly, but like I know.
What does no face mean?
Oh, no face is literally no face.
Oh, cool.
But he is modeled
No.
after it's not a caterpillar. It's a Japanese silkworm. Sorry. No face is a version of a silkworm, basically.
Oh.
So he has facial markings like a silkworm. He has a mouth below his markings, just like a silkworm.
Oh.
He eats a lot and grows rapidly like a silkworm. And at the end, he stays with Zeniba and spins silk. It's just,
Oh, I didn't clock that. That's quite obvious, actually. But he doesn't bloom into something else. He doesn't cocoon and become another thing. But that could be another film, I suppose.
yeah.
But that's a cool metaphor.
I found that cool. I was just like, because the same, I didn't catch it until after the end. I was like, wait, he was spinning silk. He's a silkworm. I get it. But yeah, a lot of the names refer to either what they are or kind of what they go through. So like the Yubaba is like water or bathhouse witch, crone. The twin sister is money crone or money witch. Bo, I can't remember who Bo is, but Bo is just young boy, young lad, literally. And then with Chihiro / Sen, that's more about what she's going to go through. Her name is basically like a representation of like meeting or passing through 1,000 spirits, which she does in the film. And when she's given the name Sen, that's just the Chinese reading or the singular reading, however you want to say it. But it's just like in Japanese, they say Chinese reading. It's just the Chinese reading of that, the first character of her name. So instead of she, it's Sen, which both mean. But yeah.
Both means what?
Huh?
Which both means what?
1,000.
Yeah.
1,000.
So yeah, it's just. But yeah, that theory, man.
Yeah, because people are creeps on the internet.
Man.
But
Anyway.
but in,
I think
but in-
I think that's what I mean, like about it being a gateway anime thing, because anime's not got like the best reputation with a lot of people. So if they see, oh, it's a bathhouse, you are kind of going to make the connection of, well, it's Japanese, so it's probably fucked up, and yeah. But then that's when you watch Spirited Away, you're going like, oh, there's nothing wrong here. There's no, yeah, everything's pretty goddamn savory and fine, and it's like, oh, okay. I was expecting more horrible things.
What, you Baba wasn't horrible enough?
She wasn't selling knickers in the vending machine. Like, it's, you know.
Oh man.
she was just like imprisoning people by stealing their identity. Yeah, so you know,
That's
same
right.
thing
No,
really.
no one got hurt. It's fine.
No one got hurt. Oh no. I think the dad got slapped pretty hard when he turned into a pig by like that chef guy.
That's all right. The dad's a douchebag.
Oh,
Just
I remember the first time I watched it.
No, you go, Simon. You
No,
froze.
I was asking, what did you just say? I didn't hear.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like Camilla was pointing out, like how the dad at the beginning, and that's probably what Alec was talking about, being a douche. He's rushing through the forest. Like, I don't care if you have realized afterwards an Audi A4 with 4-wheel drive and ABS. It's a really great car. That's not what you do with your wife and your like 10-year-old whatever kid in the freaking back seat. Are you a freaking idiot?
That's
I
the
mean, his
thing.
wife was like so onto it already. He was like used to it already.
That's the thing, though, because they had to go, what make of car does he drive? And they go, what kind of character is he? And then they go, oh, he's a complete twat. And they go, oh, Audi, done.
Not
no
being
biggie. He's going to drive through a forest he's unfamiliar with at fucking top speed and try and kill everyone for the sake of trying getting somewhere about 5 seconds faster. Like, yeah, got Audi, done. That's it.
Oh man. Please
Freak.
don't. Let's don't
Sorry.
ignore Alec.
No, don't ignore me. I'm speaking sense.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you can tell by the sort of character he was just, actually, like 3 months later during that scene when he's at the restaurant, it's like, but shouldn't we ask before we eat these person's food? He's like, I got a credit card. Don't worry, I've got cash as well. It doesn't matter.
He just grabs her by the shoulder and go, "Do you know what car I drive?" She goes, "Oh yeah, sorry, my bad."
Yeah.
Oh,
I'd have
man.
really enjoyed it if like Chihiro got back at the end and her mum was back to normal, but Dad was still a pig. Just like, nah, no forgiving that guy. He drives an Audi.
Oh man. I didn't completely blame them on the food part, because to be honest, like if you have the intention of paying and the food's just out and the people's just there, it's just like, why not? I mean, obviously they didn't know it was food intended for the gods, but it looked tasty, smelled good.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
That's what happened to the dad after before he pick. This just burps, so just goes for the food, yeah. Yes. I feel like a lot of this film has a lot of like, well, actually, most Ghibli films have a lot of like mythologism behind it, and like if you don't really understand like the cultures and like the meanings behind each one, it becomes a bit lost in, becomes a bit like you get confused because of like you don't understand the cultural references to each one. It's like, why is the sludge monster thing a sludge monster? It's because because he is actually just a river god, but it's because of people and pollution that it becomes a sludge monster. And it's just like, I guess you can generally understand it because they put it very on the nose with like the bike and everything else like rotting in like the thing, right? And it's like, oh right, that's what they were. Oh right, yeah, it's pollution, right? And he's very on the nose about it. But like, if you didn't understand the reasoning behind it, it's like, oh okay, he's supposed to be clean water, but people make him dirty. Cool.
Yep.
And it's like, I feel it can be a bit on the nose on that, I guess. But it's like, because the meaning and like the moral of the story is very good, I feel like fine, I'll let it pass. I'll keep you for your 10 out of 10 score. Fine. I don't know. How about you guys? Is there like anything interesting that you guys didn't understand or has just like got confused by or just needed something like explained?
With just a quick one, sorry, with the bike one, I find it interesting that that was inspired by him basically doing river cleaning, like they'll do sometimes in Japan, cleaning the beach and all that kind of stuff. Like he actually pulled out a bike out of a river, and that's the last thing you see coming out of the spirit. That was great. Oh, you need that too, Ben.
About the river thing, the river guy.
Yeah.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I did. I really appreciate that metaphor because he's like, "What is this sludge monster all about? And what is it?" And he's actually a water spirit that's just polluted by basically man's own end. And I thought that was so smart. Because like, what is the point? What is this creature here for? What is he about? Why is he the way he is? And then you find out through the course of the story. I think later on, I probably would have said, well, I might as well say it now. I think that's one of my favorite scenes when the sludge monster comes in. And everyone just like quick, all hands on deck. We need to get this. We need to like show him that we are the best bathhouse in.
Actually, no, I think they didn't even want to like serve him at first.
No, they
didn't. Because there was this. Oh no, we're fully occupied. We're closed.
Yeah,
because he smelt so fucking bad.
I love the
fucking hell.
I love the animation for Chihiro whenever. Just that whole sequence, like when she smells him and her hair goes, what? Oh, then comes back down. And then when he drops all the gold in her hand, she's like, just and I enjoyed all of that. And the struggle to kind of like get the ticket into the cabinet and like wade through and climb up and all that. And like it's this big kind of epic music. And I'm just like, this would be pretty epic, actually. But, I did have one thing that I wanted to clarify on, and it was the she said she made an oath to hire anyone who asked for a job. I didn't know if that was something cultural.
Oh right, it's because. Let me think about it. Because she has to. Essentially, this. Oh fuck! I remember there is a reason, but I just can't remember on top of my head.
It's just because it was really plot relevant. I was like, I should question this. It's not the reason I took the point off the story.
It's something. It's something to do with essentially because she is. "Quote unquote," one of few like human characters that are existing in that world. So it's like because she has to deal with passing like spirits and stuff, and it's like contracts to the rules because she's like one of the people who are like the top boss people, and it's like, okay, you're still a human, so if we'll allow you to do this. But there has to be a thing for like wandering spirits and stuff because as you know, it's like Chichiro had to eat some food first because as she was trying to push Haku away, she was already turning sort of like transparent because she's going to become a wandering spirit.
Mm.
And so it's like there was like rules for it in place, because it's like if a bunch of humans just come into the fucking spirit world and like fuck up everything, it's like there's no balance anymore, and it's just like there's like reasons for it, but it's just like it's one of those things that aren't really like explained because it wasn't to them, like to the initial writer, it wasn't like super like needed to be explained.
Because there was a couple of like differences in between the sub and the dub, like a lot, like some of the dialogue, because there was like a cultural thing of when she steps on the evil spirit and Kamaji just she like puts her fingers together and Kamaji just in the
Yeah.
in the sub he just goes clean. And I was like, I know what the scene is, so I know what's happening there. It's like a ritual thing. But for the dub, they had to go like, "Spirit, be gone." And it's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Just make it a little easier.
Yeah, I find it interesting that it at the time, because yeah, that's what my name in today is, like, cut the line. It's a literal translation. It's just like
Oh,
the religious it's a religious thing where like you actually, let me put my camera on so I can do this camera. Sorry. Where they do that between someone's two fingers to kind of
isn't it like this though?
maybe like that. Yeah, I think that's more like it. Yeah, that's more accurate.
the finger.
Suggesting like someone needs to get rid of some kind of impurities that they have. And they found it funny, the older people in the film or working on the set was just like, the young people these days, because she was young, of course, but they was just like, she doesn't know about this, because she was like, what? I don't know if they kept it in the film, but when he said cut the line, she's just like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Like, because she didn't understand. They had to explain to her what he was doing, like what it meant. I guess it's one of those things her parents didn't really do, so she didn't know.
I mean, I guess it's kind of like saying "God bless you," right? Maybe if you don't explain what's the meaning of saying "God bless you" or Gesundheit, no one really understands or say "God bless you" or Gesundheit. So it's like, yeah, I guess.
Especially,
You told me that, didn't you?
Sorry, I'm writing in the background. What was that?
Fucking rude.
I've got a deadline of midnight.
The origin of God bless you.
The origin of God
cut
bless
the
you.
line thing that Alex says you told him.
I think you explained to me that people say "God bless you" after someone sneezes because they think they used to think it was because of an evil spirit. They were like expelling an evil spirit.
Oh, right, yeah. So that's something that my nan told me, I think. Because I don't know, if you've spent like any time around my mum, like you'll know sort of how sort of superstitious she is. And like even now, if I see three drains, I always like hop over them, because when I was really young, my nan told me it was unlucky. And
I
now
noticed that.
I can't psychologically bring myself to tread on three drains even now.
See,
And,
oh, sorry.
No, go on, man.
I was like, I've heard a different story, like from the time I was young, about why they say "God bless you." It's like when you sneeze, your heart stops for a millisecond.
Oh, and it's like a thing to say, like, thank God you survived.
Yeah,
That's interesting to be
but
fair.
I don't know if that's a cultural thing, because obviously where my family's Irish, it might be something to do with that culture. I'm not too sure.
But I think that actually emphasizes the point Emmanuel and I was trying to make, that because these things are taught by old people to younger people, if you don't know where it comes from or like what's the significance behind it, you don't really do it. Because I'm pretty sure if I sneeze, none of my nephews are ever going to say "God bless you" or "Gesundheit" or anything. They're just like, "Oh, you snow, you snows, you sneeze." Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
I really like that as a past tense.
It'd be like Gary 7. Will you stop that?
Yeah,
But that's the thing, though. Like, I mean, if there was a time where people genuinely thought that evil spirits were coming out when somebody sneezed, like there must have also been a time where people were like, "I can't believe you've done this." Like,
but in this case, in the terms of the films, it's like evil spirits. Yeah, there's a superstition for saying God bless you. But in this case, it's like, all right, the evil spirits was literally just there, and you just saw it, and it's like you literally stepped on the evil spirit. That's yeah, and it's like, oh, gross. It's like a slug thing. Ew, gross. Yeah.
I'd
So
love,
it's like,
I'd,
oh,
love-
yeah.
I'd love to know what early people would have made of my dad, because he just like machine guns them. He doesn't just do one sneeze. He'll do like 8 in a row. It's just like, can you stop?
They'll
We
be
get
like,
it. We
Hail
understand.
Mary.
Stop it.
I empathize with your dad. I'm a serial, like, I will sneeze so many times at once quite often, and it's so freaking painful, and sometimes it makes me bleed. So
Okay.
I do that when I
Jesus.
have bad hay fever.
Yeah, I think that, yeah, that's probably the only reason I do as well. But like, I guess it'll be like, God bless you, it'll be like, oh, Lord have mercy. And just do the cross as well. I mean, it'll be easier. But yeah, see, it's just cultural things, and you just like understand, like, if it's not explained, you might not get the cultural reference or significance behind it. But like, that's I guess it's like a thing that's for the movie, I guess. So it's hard to say.
Is there a cultural significance as to why you Barbara's face looks so fucked up?
Because she's a crone
yeah,
in the most literal sense.
like the witch of Crookback Bog.
Pardon
which
now?
is- don't worry, it's a myth. Don't worry, carry on, Simon.
But yeah, she's a crone and a crow. That's why her nose is like, well, you know, it's her nose is like 3 foot long. I don't know how to explain it. It's just she's a crone lady. That's why when she puts on her fucking like robe, she flies away like that into that weird image. Just like, oh yeah, that's just yeah, she's just a crow. I don't know. I don't know how to
That's something I
explain.
wanted to ask you guys actually about this subject of her. Because obviously that you got the 2 sisters, right? But she also has the little crow that has her face. The
Yeah,
little small bird. Because the first time I remember when I saw this film, I thought that was her just flying around the town above it. But then you see later, there's like, oh no, it's her and a tiny little crow as well that has her face and head basically, and it's like, oh, they never really explained what or who that
Oh,
creature is.
Oh,
so- yeah.
that's her familiar, from what I understand. It's like her like little spirit. You think of it like
A spirit animal.
well, think of it like, you know how Odin has his crows. Think of it like that. It's just like her little spy. It's kind of the thing
a
with
clone.
yeah,
clone thing.
yeah. It's like kind of the thing with the
Have you ever seen
Hmm?
his Dark Materials?
It's like an animal spirit thing that's in their spirit in another body of another creature. Basically.
That's my understanding of like a witch's familiar.
yeah,
Like-
kind of.
Yeah.
Also go into the animals just like in Harry Potter. So some like in Harry Potter as well, they have familiars. It's very much like in that as well. The animals can do their own bit.
Yeah.
They have their own mind. They can also go into their body in a way and see from them or give them instructions of what to do.
Makes sense. So it is a little drone that does their bidding in a sense.
Yeah. And because she has that sort of like thing about, you know, her face is the prettiest, you might as well make the crow look like
Okay.
her as well, right? You know,
Yeah,
Then-
understood. It's like
but
the evil
because
queen
like
thing.
there is like, because the whole point of it is also with when Haku is doing the, I guess this would be my favorite scene because it looks so fucking awesome. It's because when they're doing when he's fighting Paper, and it's like, why is he, what is like when you first see it at a distance, like Chichiro is, and he's like dancing on like what looks like he's dancing on the water, and it's like, what's he doing? Then you realize, oh no, he's being attacked by Shikigami paper, which is like talisman paper. That's why it's it's like sharp. It's literally getting cut over 1,000 times by this paperwork, and it's just like, oh, that's ouch. But those are like essentially it's like a magician's like playing cards essentially, or it's like magic cards. So essentially it's like a different sort of like magic, and it's like it plays into like their roles because they're twins, but one is like east and one is west, and it's kind of like what they do. So it's kind of like interesting to see like the magics happen, because afterwards your other sister is the one that afterwards has like that weird hologram image. Then she can turn the crow into the fly. Then she has the 3 decapitated heads joined together to make the baby. And it's just like, oh, that's so weird. But it's kind of like, oh yeah, but it makes sense because they're both very powerful like spellcaster people. So it's like, oh, it makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the best way I can explain it.
That was cool. I forgot the name of those paper things. I said, oh yeah, Shikigami. Because I didn't realize at first until they were coming, you realize, oh, they are attacking him. I was like, oh, those things. Don't remember the
Yeah, because that scene is so awesome to see, because it's like because of the animation thing. Like I guess it's probably like, I think it's one of the few times that they actually used like, I say 3D or CG animation in the film. You don't really notice it, but it's like I mean, I guess I can notice it now because like we see it so much CG now. But it's like you see how it like turns and it spins around and split and changes into that sphere and reattacks him. It's like it's so fucking smooth, that animation. It's so nice, even though it's quite violent. And it's like, damn, that's awesome just to see all of that happening, especially where you see all the paper like hit the window and you see all like individual thuds on like the window and the glass. So I was like, oh, that's something about the scene was amazing. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, it is really cool. I wanted to ask something. So, and anyone who watched the dub, maybe you can tell me more of the differences and stuff as well. But there was one thing. Oh, that was it. There's 2 things I found interesting why they changed or added, etc. So at the end of the film in the dubbed version, I find it interesting that they added the lines between the parents and the kids saying like basically showing that more obviously Chihiro can handle moving into this new environment. I find it interesting that they found it necessary to put that in rather than just infer from this whole journey she's been on. She can handle it. If she could do that, this is a walk in the park. She can do this. I don't know. Did anyone have thoughts on that?
What was the question?
You know, at the end of the dub,
Yeah.
they add 3 extra lines of dialogue, kind of like making it obvious that Chihiro can handle moving to the new place. But in the Japanese, they don't do that because it's already obvious she can handle this new part of her life. I was just interested in what you thought about why they would add that into the English one.
Oh, it's because Americans are dumb.
Yeah,
Oh, that's rude.
I wasn't sure about that because well, so a lot of it is just it's kind of like just rephrasing stuff. And I guess I don't know. I mean, as I'm saying it, I'm thinking maybe it is just a case that they felt they had to spell it out more for Western audiences. I don't know, but
Because Americans.
but yeah, no, like most of it, because like I said to you before, if you watch any Ghibli film on Netflix with the dub as well as the subs on at the same time, the subs are corresponding to the Japanese audio, and the dub is completely different. So it's interesting sometimes because you can see like exactly what's changed like in real time, and a lot of the time it's just rephrasing stuff. But yeah, sometimes you do get things like that where it's like in Japanese it will just be like one line, whereas in the dub it will be like free to kind of go, this is why I'm about to say this, and then they'll say the line that's on the subtitles, and then they'll say, this is why I've just said that.
But it's like when the radish spirit shows up. I believe in the sub they don't lampshade it, whereas in the dub they actually have Lynn go, "Oh, radish spirit." So you go, "Oh," because Americans don't know what radishes are.
Yeah.
That actually might be a case because I don't think like, it'll be. I mean, like, I guess it'd be a thing of like, if you was to show like a picture of like a leprechaun to someone from like an East Asian like culture, but like he's a man in the green hat. I don't understand. What's a leprechaun? It'll be like they had to go, oh, this is a leprechaun. Yeah.
This is a pot-bellied Irish ginger.
That's true. Because yeah, that's a good point. Because with the radish one, I only know about that because of previous stuff. At first, when I first saw him, I was just like, I didn't make the connection. And then when she got into the elevator with him, I was like, oh yeah, it's a radish. I think Camilla realized that at first as well. But it's just like, oh yeah. And I'm thinking of all the times I've seen really big white like radish and taro root type vegetables used as jokes and props and different things. So there's that. Another thing I found interesting is how in the dub it's basically implied that after Haku is free, he's now homeless. So to explain,
Wait! Maybe I missed that in the dub. What happened?
so so basically you know how, so in the Japanese it suggests that, and I missed this line to be honest, but in the Japanese it suggests that his river was redirected like underground or to a different place, so his river still exists because obviously Haku's a river spirit based on an actual god, but yeah, he's a river spirit and his river still exists. So once he gets his name back and can be free, he can return to his river. But
Wait, I don't. Go. Actually, no. I think you go finish.
But in the dub, they say that his river was filled in, so his river no longer exists, which suggests he'd be homeless, or maybe he's just gonna go to, and he can't go home basically. Not homeless. He can go to another river, but he can't go home. He has to go to just somewhere else, another river. So homeless is probably the wrong word. Sorry.
Okay.
Funny in my head.
Yeah.
I like the idea of a homeless spirit.
This,
He just gets back and goes, shit.
yeah, those are called wraiths. Those are terrifying.
We'll be a spirit for food.
But
spirits usually live in a particular place. So to not be able to return to that particular place would be quite traumatic, I would think.
I think that's what I find funny about the whole sequence when they're like free falling. When he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm on this river. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, no, it's been filled in with apartment blocks now, but at least I remember." It's just like, yeah, no, there's a Greg's there now. How fucked off would you be if you were straight up and it was just like, four sausage rolls for 2.7.
Sorry, Simon, go. I keep cutting you off.
No, it's not. It's just, I could just imagine fucking hell. He goes, yo, sushi here. What the fuck is this shit? My head was just fucking. But but from what I remember, he can't really go back to his river. From what I remember, it actually doesn't exist anymore because it's been, again, land development owners just like crushed the forest and like filled up the river, so it doesn't. His place of birth does no longer it no longer exists. and that's like the reason why he was able to be controlled and manipulated for such a fucking long time, to be honest. And that's why he forgot his name. But the thing is, like, essentially, he should just do what all other general river spirits and just like evolve into like an ocean spirit, because the ocean will always exist, and that's just kind of like you forgot the step where you can like evolve like a Pokemon. That's kind of like, that's what happens for all. That's why there's lots of like dragon spirits and dragon like serpentine dragons in like East Asian like mythologies and stuff, because they're all rivers, but they all generally become ocean dragons. And it's like, did you forget that level? Did you forget that? Or it's like he might have forgotten that. He just completely forgot that his dragon. He just completely forgot he can evolve. And it's just like, well, shit, man. Because the water spirit that was full of like the pollution and stuff. He was a dragon as well. It was a very old man mask-based dragon, admittedly, but he was still a dragon because he just the way that he's like serpentines out there. It's like, yeah, he's a dragon as well. It's just like, yeah, he just needs to evolve into the old man, I guess. It's like, yeah, that's by you just saying him being homeless. He's just fucking like, I can just imagine he's like in a cardboard box and go, you got some spare yen. Can I get some spare yen? I just need to buy some fucking bread. It'll be great. It's like, I was like, damn, that's fucking rough living.
Please take 200 yen.
On talking about the yen, can you check Alec or Rob if this is my highest? Actually, it's not highest budget, or maybe highest grossing.
I wouldn't be able to say grossing.
I mean, it was the top most. It was like the top. It was the highest earning. Sorry, animated film in Japan for about 20 years. Is
Yeah.
what I want to say.
Demon Slayer movie came out.
Yeah, I mean, okay. With that though, it's kind of like it was during COVID, it was after COVID. No one could come out to watch anything, and the first film that came out was a fucking anime film. Everyone went, shit, let's just blow our load on this fucking anime film. It's a great anime, admittedly, right? But it's like it doesn't, and like it's well animated. It doesn't deserve as much praise as it got. Not, I think I love Demon Slayer, right? Just you don't need to make it into the movie. You could just made it into the TV series that it deserved, and it would have been fine. Because afterwards, when it finished the movie, everyone went, can we just add like an extra season and make it into like a multiple part TV series? Everyone went, yeah, sure, that's probably better. And that's what they did. They fucking made it a fucking TV series. And again, it's like, there's no point of making it a fucking movie. And it was just like, oh,
how it happened. I didn't really realize.
Yeah.
Cool. But yeah, it made around about 164 million. That's in pounds, not in dollars. I didn't translate it to dollars.
Quite a lot for an anime.
Yeah, from what I understand, it's like it had like for what its budget worth, or for what its budget was worth, the gross was like 400% of what its budget was. So it's like if it was like 50 billion yen, it made like 400 times that. And it's like, oh, sweet, that's probably why it got all those awards, and everyone like watched it as like, oh yeah, it got all the money. I guess the question is it like one of your highest like costing films? What's the most expensive?
not even close.
What's his most expensive? What's your most expensive film, Emmanuel?
Ready Player One.
Oh shit!
Ready
Yeah,
Player One is
yeah,
like
yeah,
10 times the budget of this.
This was 19.2 million.
Yeah.
Ready Player One like kicks us into the dirt, and then the next one is The Adventures of Shark Boy and Lava Girl, which
Where the
was
fuck did that budget go?
50 million, and then Sunshine's the next after that, which was 40 million.
I saw a
All the
I saw
CG.
a, I saw a thing a little while ago. So like oh, what's his name? The guy who did Lion King, John Favreau. You know, John Favreau does
Don't
he does
describe him as that.
he does a thing on Netflix called The Chef Show, and it's basically just like him and his mate who's a chef, and
Isn't
they're
that a
just
spin off
like
from the film?
kind of like it's more of like it's more of a cooking show, but it comes from the film. I think he discovered a love of cooking while he was doing the film, and that's where the show comes from. But anyway, there's an episode of it with Robert Rodriguez on, and Robert Rodriguez is like, he's so excited about making a pizza, and he's talking about how every time somebody comes around his house, he makes pizzas, and he's got this really fancy pizza oven and all of that kind of stuff. And I can only assume that that's where the budget of Shark Boy and Lava Girl went to.
Yeah, because I was going to say we could probably all chip in and make a film that look better.
I'm surprised we haven't already.
But those pizza ovens, though, if you had to like get like professionally made with that perfect dome, yeah, that would be a very expensive pizza oven. Just a basic pepperoni pizza costs you like, because of the budget of the oven, it's gonna cost you 50 quid. Just fucking hell.
Film is something else. But yeah, with this film, so yeah, it made about in yen, it's about 3 point something billion yen.
Cool.
And even before it got to America, like it was released in the West, it had already grossed around $200 million. So it made like, well, I'm trying to think, if it made 164 million pounds, it already made more than half of what it did in America. Like in America, I guess it gained another roughly $120 million or whatnot, or maybe even more, but like, that's like, man. Even
That's pretty impressive for
I
Yeah.
just on the back of Shark Boy and Lava Girl, I just looked up the budget for like one of its sort of descendants, basically, and
Mm.
if you were to quadruple the budget for Shark Boy and Lava Girl, you basically get Ant-Man Quantumania.
Oh wow.
That's what Shark Boy and Lava
What
Girl
the
looks like,
fuck?
with 4 times the budget.
I believe that, to be fair.
And spoiler alert,
Literally.
it still looks like shit.
It's actually all right.
I
No.
don't think it looks that
Oh
bad.
wait, sorry. What are you saying? What are you
Fucking-
guys saying? Shark
Stop
Boy
it.
and Other Girls, all right? Are you saying Quantum Mania?
No,
It's all right.
Quantum
You
Mania
guys need to be
doesn't
more
look that
specific
bad.
because you both.
Quantumania, it's Quantumania don't look that bad. I think.
Quantumania was pretty awful, especially considering how much money they spent on it.
I mean,
Yeah, but most of the
could
money
it have
was
looked
like
better?
horror, right?
Yeah, probably, but I don't think it was the worst looking film.
Well, no, I mean it wasn't Shark Boy and Lava Girl, but they did spend 4 times the money on it.
For it to still look pretty bad.
Yeah, but they probably spent most of that money on a criminal.
They spent most of it on elongating Modoc's head.
To be fair, the Modoc's head looks absolute trash.
Oh.
Oh man, I actually haven't watched it. It's on Disney Plus now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
There's
Probably.
loads of bits.
Oh,
where you
fucking
can
hell,
see,
watch it,
like,
I'll watch
Paul
it
Rudd
all the time.
doing like the thing against the background.
Serious. Like, you got to actually like watch it. Like you got to see like all the janky looking shit.
Sorry,
There's even one bit where like the speed that Paul Rudd's walking isn't like it's not matching up with his footsteps. so like in between footsteps, he's kind of like floating along.
oh my goodness. When you first said the film, I thought you said Ant-Man and the Wasp, not Mania.
Oh, I mean, that also looks terrible.
But that's all right compared to Quantumania. Quantumania, I think the main 2 problems was direction and um and like ridiculous crunch. Like they did not have anywhere near enough time to finish that film.
I think
It-
that applies for the second one as well. But
Though
Let's-
that applies to a lot of MCU projects, to be fair.
let's not sully our Spirited Away
I was
episode.
listening to a podcast with Edgar Wright earlier, and one of the questions on the podcast was like, "What film have you not seen that I would be most surprised that you hadn't seen yet?" And he gave like a long list of like really popular films, but one of them he was like Ant-Man, of which I am credited as a writer and executive producer.
Oh man, never watched it.
I wouldn't, to be completely fair. If I'd gone through the same thing. I do love all the like TikTok people, and they're going like, "Oh, who would you want to direct a Marvel film?" And everyone's like, "Edgar Wright." And it's like, shut up. Shut up.
Yeah, look at the
That-
history. You know what's happened
You,
there.
you don't know what you're talking about. Just shut up.
I like Nolan.
Hmm?
I like Nolan to do one. I know how you feel about him, Rob, but I think he could
Nolan
probably-
stick-
huh?
We're not mentioning Nolan right now because I just rewatched all of the Dark Knight trilogy and I scored it all, and Ben's not happy with it.
He hates them all. But
I
yeah,
I don't hate them all.
basically, Nolan declared he will never ever direct another superhero movie ever again.
Because his have such a pedigree.
Yeah, for a lot of people. So, but either way, he's still not going to do it. I think he's fed up with like the studios and control and all that. So it's like the Ant-Man situation with Edgar Wright. It's like it's too much of an issue for a director of that clout. The directors like Wright and Nolan, they just want creative freedom, and if they can't have that, they've got a strict deadline.
I mean, the only way he can have creative freedom is if he made a character and called him Nolan Man, and then afterwards he could be
or if he made
like,
his own one, yeah.
yeah, if he made his own superhero and called him, it's Nolan Man, come to the rescue. I'm gonna make films incredibly complicated sometimes, and it's just like, yeah, okay. Then he would, yeah, then he has all the rights to his own fucking character.
That'd be great. Just Nolan, man. He's just a fucking android. And he comes in, he goes beep boop, and then people go, "I don't understand." And he goes, "Feel it. Don't try and understand it." And it's like, yeah.
Oh, shit.
Thank you, Nolan, man.
Dudes,
That's not what you're about whatsoever.
that's great. Yeah, that's just the dialogue in films. Just
Yeah, I mean, it's just be the robot, but art is subjective. And we're like, oh, okay, sure, Master Nolan, man. Thanks. Okay.
Oh man, my cheeks hurt. Actually, another one I would like to see make a MCU film, if I could. The same director and team, pretty much, who did the Elseworld Joker with Joaquin.
Oh, he's a
Todd
weird
Phillip.
director though. He's very hit and miss.
Oh, is he?
He's Oh, sorry, Simon. Did you?
Sorry, what?
Did you lag out or did somebody else?
I
Like,
think
I
it might have
said
been
Todd
me, I don't
Phillips.
know.
Oh, right. Yeah. No, he
Would-
did. He
I
did The Hangover as well. So I'm a bit like.
Oh, I love The Hangover.
I really like The Hangover too. So I have no
I
complaints.
found it very irritating.
Like Hangover.
You like The
one-
Hangover as well, or you like The Hangover 2?
Oh, I like The Hangover as well.
Ah, cool.
Over 2.
He did also do The Hangover 2, to be fair.
Nobody likes The Hangover.
I like all three. So up yours, Alec.
It's not the boast you think it is.
Yeah, it's like
It's weird, man. Like, 'cause if you look at his if you look at the films he's done, so he did the Hangover trilogy, he did Road Trip,
Road Trip was meh.
he did is it Project X? That
I don't think he did that one.
I think he did. Let me have a look.
War Dogs is the one I remember him fondly for the most.
Yeah, War
Yeah.
Dogs is alright.
What one?
War
War
Dogs.
Dogs.
Oh,
came
I
and saw
think
it with
he-
us, Beth.
I think
Oh,
he was a
Stella.
writer on Project X or something like that. But yeah, no, it's just like they're really like they're basic. He's done a lot of films that you wouldn't expect the director of Joker to have done.
I get what you mean.
A film that doesn't need a sequel, may I add?
I'm up for
yeah,
the
but I
sequel,
said
to be
I would have
honest. I
said
wanna
that
see
for
what a
Hangover, to
musical
be
looks
honest.
No, Hangover didn't need a sequel, but I'm glad it exists.
Yeah, but you might be like, oh yeah, I mean, Joker didn't need a sequel, but I'm glad it exists. It's like you don't know how that will happen in the future.
The thing with the Joker sequel, though, right? Because they could have quite easily gone, yeah, we're going to make another film like Joker. But because they've gone, no, we're going to cast Lady Gaga and we're going to make a musical. I'm like, all right, I'm on board. I'll see what you're doing.
This Joker sequel is going to be next year's version of Barbie for me.
Yeah, it's
that
going
doesn't
to be
surprise
Pat's
me.
Barbie next year.
Um,
Yeah,
this,
to be fair, if you're gonna do a sequel, make it interesting. I don't think
Yeah,
Joker needs a
exactly.
sequel, but it's like, oh, if you're gonna do one,
Do it.
might as well
Recorded.
just lean into it,
Yeah.
I
make it a
forgot.
musical. Fuck.
Very
Should
fair.
have just brought Russell Crowe in.
No, he
I
can't sing
stole
or
a
act.
loaf of bread.
Just get him to ride his Vespa around.
Russell Crowe fighting around the world.
Saying that, I wonder how the Flash would have originally turned out if they didn't fire the director.
This is the Spirited Away stream, everybody. I hope you're having fun.
Or even if it was a different film with a different actor in it, I'm not sure how it would have changed.
Oh yeah, I already
presumably.
in it. This is the same reason I haven't watched it.
Yeah.
Crap, and it looks annoying to me. Anyway, I shouldn't say crap.
Oh, Alex said worse, don't we?
I've said a
Anyways,
lot worse.
Yeah, Pat said a lot.
anyways, so
Favorite
don't you
scene?
find it interesting that a lot of these superhero movies have male-centric characters, but a lot of Studio Ghibli movies have a lot of female-centric main characters,
That is
and they're
interesting.
and they're always very strong and independent women or young girls. And I feel like that's a very nice image that he wants to put, especially with like anime and stuff, because there's not a lot of female leads or female main characters in in a lot of like modern day stories, and he does have lots of female leads, and I feel like that's a very high credit for where credit is due, even though sometimes he does act like a bit of a terrible person sometimes, Mr. Miyazaki, because
Yeah,
unfortunately because he has his son didn't really want to do animation. Because he had like, I think he was an architect or a landscaping job beforehand, but then afterwards he became an anime director guy, and he made his first movie, and like it was called like Earthsea, I can't remember, and afterwards like
Tales of Earthsea, yeah.
yeah, Tales of Earthsea, yeah, and like supposedly during the premiere, people noticed Mr. Miyazaki put on his jacket and go out for a smoke. And I'm like, fucking hell, right? My God, man. There's like, it was like a thing about it. It's like, if you didn't enjoy the movie, it's one thing, but you don't go, put on your jacket. I'm going for a smoke. It's just like, fucking hell, that's like, it's your kid, man. It's like, you say, like, maybe you didn't like his work, but you rough it out until afterwards. Then you complain about it to him when he's in the car. Don't fucking just go for a smoke during his premiere. His fucking premiere, just during the premiere. But everyone fucking noticed when he left. There was actually like a film crew that went, is he leaving? Why is he leaving? Does he have like, have to go to the bathroom and he's got
Who are you talking
another
about?
problem? Oh, because Miyazaki is like, as great as he is for keeping a lot of like female leads in his movies, him as a person is not the greatest person, because he is very terrible to his like son. And afterwards, I guess he doesn't like a lot of Western media, I guess, because it's like he complains that a lot of people were just like, what's the right word I want to say? It's like they don't maybe they don't like. Maybe I think he says it's like they don't understand my work or they misinterpret it all the time. And it's a lot of people from the West, and he hates it so much. It's like because like there's been notes where he's been like, oh, fuck these guys, fuck all your hamburgers and shit. And it's like, wait, and it's like, and because I remember I was reading about that, I was like, wait, go back a bit. What the fuck did he just? What the fuck did he just say? Fuck these guys and fuck all these. No, he says down with. Essentially, he wasn't fuck. He was like down with hamburgers, and I'm like, what the fuck is that supposed to mean? That's like because he just. I guess he's like the most Western interpretation of food is a hamburger. I guess to him, I don't know, maybe. But it's just like, yeah, he just doesn't. I guess as a director, I guess like he gets very upset when people don't get his work. But like, not everyone will get your work all the time. But it's just like he's just basically hating people from the West, and that's just like, that's sad. Because a lot of people from the West really do like his work. It's just like maybe they just don't understand it, but they like it. But that breaks my heart.
It's interesting that you said that about like most of his leads being females, because I never really put it together before, but now I think about it, all of the Ghibli films that I can think of that aren't female led are all Isao Taka. Was it Isao Takahata? Yeah, what's the guy's name? Hang on. Yeah, so yeah, all of the Ghibli films I can think of that aren't female led are all Isao Takahata rather than Miyazaki.
Oh, right. Wait, let me think, because he did. Which ones did he do again? I can't remember off the top of my head now.
So he did Grave of the Fireflies.
Well,
Tom
arguably Grave of Fireflies is about the brother and sister, so that's like.
Oh yeah, but
You
it's
could-
not
you-
like pure female led. Like there's a dude. Although to be fair, he did the Tale of the Princess Kaguya.
Yeah, oh, well, no, but Princess Kaguya is about the princess, obviously, so that's definitely.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot that was fucking a Studio Ghibli film. I was like, fuck.
Oh, and to be fair, he did do Only Yesterday. That's female led.
Is someone
even
picking
s-
Grave of the Firefly?
No, not any, or at least not anytime soon.
Apparently, it's very sad.
It's yeah, fucking definitely. It's like the suffering from after World War II. It's definitely fucking sad. Fucking hell.
We've had too many sad films.
Yeah, and like if I was to choose like after the World War II suffering film, I think I would choose something else that's live action and not an animated film. Yeah, I've got to really fucked up films, anyways. Anyways,
No.
yeah, yes.
I just
Sorry,
think I should finish it at some point.
You just what? What'd you say?
I said I think I should finish it at some point because I wasn't allowed to watch the rest.
I mean, I think it's on Netflix. You could just like finish it
No,
up.
it's the one. It's the
Nah.
one Ghibli film that's not on there.
Is it not? Fuck.
No, it's not. No, I don't
Get
know where
wrecked.
it's streaming, but it's not on Netflix.
Oh wait, no, it's on Amazon. I remember I did like get like a pop up for it for Amazon. I'm very sure.
Right.
And if not, you know we can help you out, Alec. Don't worry.
I just love to laugh.
Well, you will not laugh at this, and if you do, shame on you.
Well, I did laugh the first time I watched it, and that's why I didn't watch the rest because my friend turned it off 20 minutes in because I was laughing too much.
How
Hmm?
How old were you?
17?
He's still the mental age that he was then, to be fair. So
True.
Oh man.
But I have the body of a 40-year-old.
we've noticed.
Thank you, Bira Murray.
Don't worry, we can go out and work out together, Alec. I just
Ooh.
need-
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
I'll bring the sports tip.
I'm sort of cheating. I'm diabetic and I'm on tablets to make me lose weight.
Oh man. I need to work out. Actually, no, today I was working physically quite hard. I'm tired.
I
Anyway,
mean, today I was just at work, so look at everyone's
Today-
just tired.
Today I was laying on the couch all day.
But you
I
need
had
to
to,
get,
wa- I had to watch 6 hours of Batman. So that was my thing today.
You didn't have to.
I did. It was a
full of the Batman. Oh yeah. I'm just trying to think. Oh no, it would have been great if you do you have like a big
what?
a big TV?
Yeah.
Cool. I was just thinking about how we watched it in IMAX.
This
Yeah.
one.
Fair enough. You know what you need though.
Don't
You-
say a sound bar.
No, you need like a. I mean, I have no comments on your sound. I don't know what you do for sound, but you get like a 55-inch and sit quite close, and then it's just like you're in the cinema, just at home.
Yes, that's how I plan to watch Oppenheimer when it comes out. I just go sit really close to the screen and go, wow.
Since
And
I
then
haven't-
you'll do it. You'll do it and just be like, oh, I'm deaf now.
since I haven't really spoken about this one yet.
It was just a dialogue scene from Oppenheimer, but I'm
Okay.
fucking deaf as a post. Sorry.
Yeah, something that Ben said earlier, where he sort of compared it to fuck.
Alice in Wonderland?
Yeah, I sort of saw that as well. Weirdly enough, though, I sort of saw something else in it, and you're probably all going to be like, "What?"
Go on.
I've got a note here because I fucking keep forgetting the name of the film.
It's just dust till dawn.
So- I saw a little bit of Oliver Twist in it, just as something as little as when she goes looking for tokens. It reminded me of that scene where Oliver Twist wanted more food.
Uh,
That was
Oh,
something.
yeah. Okay, yeah. I try to think about it, but I was like, I guess because it's just like,
I mean, it's a very small comparison, but that was the first thing that came into my head when she initially went looking for tokens.
please, sir, can I have this bath token?
I find your accent very offensive.
The film itself was very well made. I wouldn't say I loved it. I'll be honest, halfway through, I looked to see how long was left, and I was like, oh fuck, I thought this is nearly over. But like it's a nice, well made film. I just don't think I'd go out my way to watch it again.
mm,
You know, there's nothing wrong with it or anything like that. I also found it quite funny when Rob said it's sort of his comfort film during bad weather. Usually when there's bad weather, I try to watch something that's loud. But no, so Rob will watch this during bad weather. I go and watch Top Gun when it's bad weather, you know, as you do. But no, I think it was a pretty good pick.
Not
Like,
co- not Con Air.
that's more of a, well, I don't know. I
Mum's
think
Tea.
that's more of a good weather film. You know, Sweet Home Alabama, once taking over a plane, like, you know, teddy bears at risk, bunnies at risk. I mean,
I thought you were naming multiple movies.
what a film that would have been, bunnies at risk.
Sweet Home Alabama, and I was like, okay, sure. Well, no, you just want teddy bears at risk. Oh,
Not make like they do not make this together. It's like, what are you talking
But-
about?
A big thing that I saw on this is like where she's sort of trapped in the spirit world. It sort of felt like a worker trapped in a corporation. Like I saw similarities with like a regular person's working life and they're trying to escape.
Fair enough.
I probably saw the more cynical side of it.
I mean-
you're not wrong though, because
That-
that's actually a plot that's a plot point in the movie with the what's the name of the lady that helped take care of Chichiro when she was in the bathhouse?
Lynn.
Men?
Lin, yeah.
Lynn? Oh yeah. Lynn is literally the things she says is, once I saved up enough money, I'm gonna get a ticket for that train and get fuck out of this place. This is terrible, terrible place. It's the reason why she was so fucking surprised where Spider Grandpa has those fucking like train tickets. And it's like, I'll go give you these. And it's like, you had these all the fucking time? You could have gave me one of those? And it's like, you didn't need it. And it's like, yeah, I mean, I could have taken it, but it's like, it's literally the whole thing is like they're stuck there because of reasons. But it's also part of the magic as well, because they can't. Lynn probably isn't actually her real name, and it's like she can't remember her real name, but she can't remember why she needs to leave. But she just needs to leave, so that's like part of the plot. So it goes full circle of like
I
she's
think
there.
it's, I think that's like a big part of it. If it's all about, if the story's all about growing up and stuff, and Yubaba's meant to be sort of like the foil to Chihiro when she starts, and Chihiro's like quite immature, like quite young, doesn't take well to change, doesn't have a lot of agency in her life, like a lot of choices are made for her. Yubaba is like kind of the like direct foil to that. Like she has all the power, she has all the agency because she owns this big business. She's a witch. She can basically do what she likes, basically. And you have that kind of that thing with Lynn, where I don't know, there's just lots of like little kind of life lessons and all that, like kind of sprinkled in. And I was kind of like questioning like what the point of some things were. And I was like, why is it such a big deal that she finds out that Haku was always good, despite the fact that Lynn always said opposite to that? And it's like, oh, it's about like kind of trusting yourself, and it's about having beliefs and like staying true to them, and like you think Haku's good, and despite what everyone else says, you keep believing that, and you get rewarded for thinking that at the end and everything. And that's kind of what leads into her being able to identify that her parents aren't among the pigs, that she has to like kind of pick them out. It's like these are all like really cool like little lessons, but yeah, the comparison that Pat's just made about it being kind of like a corporation, like yeah, it's part of her growing up is getting a job and having to work under someone, but then she kind of surpasses Yubaba at the end because she has trust in herself.
That bit's aged badly. Young
Oh.
people don't want work.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a whole. I've heard. That's a really good take though. Like just
thanks.
like yours, Pat's, everyone's. It's really nice.
When the sludge monsters started coming over the bridge, all I could think of was Muck from Pokemon.
I thought you were gonna say Oliver Twist.
Nah,
I mean, Muck is pretty much like a pollution-based Pokemon, right? It's just like toxic, so it makes perfect sense, right? But yeah, I see where you go.
and it was part of my favorite scene in the entire film.
What, like the whole sequence, or like him like getting cleaned, or it's like
No, it's him getting cleaned. I was quite fascinated in what he was going to look like when he was clean.
were you expecting old man masked dragon?
I mean, it's anime. It could be literally anything.
Fair enough.
I was just, I sort of just set up. I was like, I'm so curious as to what is going to happen next. But no, I did really like how that whole scene was designed.
I mean, it's the thing with this. If you describe it on paper, people are gonna go like, "Oh, that sounds fucking boring." But it's like you take something as like a giant stink spirit is coming into a bathhouse, and like our heroine is the one who has to kind of clean it and all that, and it's just like that's such like a gripping scene in the context of like the rest of the story, but it's like it's not something that you necessarily think of as being like gripping.
Mm.
Oh well, yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah,
But
If
given
you
a
write
fucking
it down.
Stink Spirit a bath, it's like, oh, cool, great, thanks. I can't wait to watch that. But then when you're actually like kind of in the scene, you've spent some time with Chihiro and getting to know everything around it. It's like, fuck yeah, I want to, yeah, I want to know what's happening. I want to see what this guy looks like underneath him. And it's a really compelling scene. I think it's like kind of the strength of the Ghibli movies. They take something that you wouldn't necessarily think would be interesting, and they make it interesting.
Shit, you made me remember what's special about the theme park as well. Damn it. Because supposedly, this is from like people who have been there before. It's like the theme park is very different from when you go if you was to go there as an adult or as a child, because there's certain things that you don't see as an adult, especially at your height, that you might not see as a child, because supposedly there's like interactive parts of the museum and like the theme park that you, when you look at it as an adult, you just go, oh, that looks like a set of cupboards. And it's like, oh, it's based off like the art style of the house from My Neighbor Totoro. But if you was a kid, you notice that like the little like handles on the cupboards have like little glass on it. So as a kid, you'd be curious and you peek in and you're like, oh, cool, there's soot monsters inside. You'd be like, wait, what? You got someone went down and like went out and said, oh yeah, there's like a little like soot monster silhouette thing inside like the cupboards and like right at the bottom. But you wouldn't notice that because you're an adult. You just go, oh right, it's the cupboard from the house. But as a child, you go, oh right, yeah, that's it. It was like, yeah, it just made me really want to go to Japan more.
Cool.
Do we want, okay, so when do we need to book this trip? You and me, Emmanuel, we're just gonna find a little time. Just go to Japan, just go to Studio Ghibli, just to go to the museum. I see a good week. Solid.
We will also go to the theme park that we missed out on for various reasons, not getting into right now.
I wouldn't ask any questions if it wasn't Japan, but
she'll be pissed if we mentioned that, wouldn't she? But anyways, back to the film. So, is there like any other sort of like cultural things that you guys may not have understood or like want to like need an explanation on? Or do you guys want to go to favorite scenes?
I don't think I've got anything.
I think favorite scenes is good. Pat said his one. I need to think some more.
I jumped in with my favourite scene early because the opening statement there just went past me, so I was like, oh, I better just throw everything in there at once.
Oh. To be fair,
Right.
I think the opening scene segment. No, sorry, the opening statement sequence. I know went on, but so
What?
what
The opening statement.
we spent a long time on opening statements, and I think
Yeah.
it got very confused. Favorite scene. I really like the no face. I don't want to call it the no face chase, but it is a no face chase.
Nice.
Wait.
Which part? The chase.
Yeah, they get Chihiro to.
Oh yeah.
I think that whole bit, like I was trying to work out like what his place in the story is, because I spent this whole time going like, why isn't this resonating with me? Why isn't this like a favorite? This is such a good film. Why is this not doing anything? And then I got into like kind of like, why is Yubaba here? And I was like, oh, that's why she's here, to be like the foil to Chihiro. And I was like, okay. And once I started thinking of it in terms of that, I was like, I get it. I get it. This is having more of an impact on me. I'm fine. And then I was like, where does No Face kind of fit into this? And I was like, what's the word I'm after? What is the word that describes him? And I was like, empty. He's just an empty sort of vessel, and it's, I don't know. I think it's something that is a threat for a lot of the people who get stuck working there. He doesn't work in the bathhouse, I know that, but like, if you are just an employee of somewhere, there is a danger that you kind of lose yourself and you just become kind of empty. And
That's it, empty, slave to the money, greed.
Yeah, it's literally about the greed and the gluttony about it.
and that's the thing. Like he's not generally sort of even noticed by a lot of the characters, but Chihiro does notice him, and because she notices him, that's why that whole sort of bit of the story happens, and that's how it gets out of control. And he kind of wants to please Chihiro, and that it is helpful, but like he misunderstands. I need a token. Here is a token with, oh, she likes tokens. I'm going to get like 30 tokens, and then she'll like me a lot more. And it's like, it's not quite that. And then he's generating gold. People will like him, and he's like, great. I bet that girl who showed me kindness, she'll want some gold as well. What the fuck? She doesn't want gold. What the fuck? And then, yeah, that's when it all kind of starts going wrong, and it's. But like, yeah, I think that's. Yeah, I think that emptiness is something that's always kind of like a threat for people who don't gain maturity, and I was like that. I kind of like that being part of he's part of like the entourage for a bit. I like the fact he's like a presence. I don't know.
Yeah.
He is that part of that story that is, because even after he ate everyone and everything and chased her around, and she still let him on the train with him, and she still went to the Yubaba sister's place together, even though it was like, was there really need for him to go there? Not really, but it's like that place was like poisonous and like evil place for him to consume and stuff. So it adds to the story, because you see him in the sister's place. He was eating that big cake with his weird mouth thing underneath his face, which always gets me really confused every time I see it. Sometimes it's just like, was it? Oh yeah, obviously that's not actually his mouth, right? Yeah, it's just part of the mask. But I just but he's still eating that whole cake, but it's more normal, if you know what I mean, because it seems it's quite gluttonous because he's eating a whole cake, but it's just like it's more subtle and more it's more mild, I think is the best way to describe it, and it has a more peacefulness to it. And I think that is actually, including on your point as well, Alec, because it gives it more like calm and like more like normal, like maturing lifestyle. And I think that's quite nice to say.
I think this is one where I can see why Guillermo del Toro likes these films as well, because he kind of have like the childlike innocence kind of thing, and if it was happening to a character like Lynn, she wouldn't. She's ready to just kind of go like, "Fuck off, No Face! I don't want anything to do with you. You've done this, like eat shit." And it's the same thing that she's kind of done with Haku, whereas Chihiro's always kind of like willing to give a second chance and willing to just kind of forgive and kind of like look past things that they've done. And no, there was like kind of a different intent behind it that's got a bit misconstrued, and that's something that an adult wouldn't have necessarily because they're like fuck off.
Hmm.
But a kid would go like, yeah, we'll fuck up. Let's. You can come with. Let's go to Zaniba's. I've got a spare train ticket. Let's go. Like, yeah, I like the whole no face bit. I think that's really interesting. Without necessarily knowing entirely what it's for.
Nice. I think I still don't know my favorite scene.
Wait, Rob, did you say your favorite scene?
No, I'm not really too sure what I'd say for mine.
I know what Eb's favorite scene was because it was a bit with the little sooty things. Because that was the only bit that she remotely responded to. She was just like, "Oh, they're so cute." And I was just like, "Oh, we're getting somewhere." I wasn't getting anywhere. As soon as they were gone, it was like, "Nah, fuck it, no chance."
Has she ever seen My Neighbor Totoro?
I've never seen My Neighbor Totoro.
No, she might like it if she liked the city things.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, because
Prob-
they're in the film as well. Yeah.
She'll probably only like those parts. And the,
They have like their own story in My Neighbor Totoro. So...
Oh.
Yeah.
As long as I've got something cute.
I think
Uh,
they're like one of the only 3 plushies that are existing in My Neighbor Totoro. It's like the Totoro's, Cat Bus, and the Soot plushies.
yeah.
And because like, I remember seeing them as keychains as well as a kid. So that's probably so you're a good piece of merchandise when you're
Yeah.
a part of a fucking keychain. So it's just like it's
Definitely.
Well, hey, it worked for Forky. Just put some fucking eyes on anything, and you could.
Actually, since you like Dragon Ball, Pat, did you notice something when they were on the train?
No.
They passed
Oh,
somewhere
I thought
that.
you were finished.
Oh no, I was waiting for you to say. They passed somewhere that looked like someone's house.
I must have missed it.
You know, Kame's house.
Yeah.
They passed a place that looked very much like that.
Next.
It-
Oh, yeah.
Did
I'm gonna
they?
have to watch it again now, innit?
Yeah.
I did not notice that. Maybe it just like flew over my head. It's like they passed by Master Roshi's house. Really?
It looked like that. Like, I don't know if it was just I assume it's just coincidental, but it looked quite a lot like it. And there's other people as well on the internet that will say the same things. It's like, hey, that looked a lot like Jenner's house. It's like, oh yeah. I took a picture, but then I might have deleted it. It's kind of blurry. But oh yeah, I've got this is probably not the picture, but it was during this scene anyway, regardless. Wait, let me send it in the chat. But I think there's lots of little bits that I like. And like, for example, the kind of things the girl would kind of figure out for like the medicine ball.
Oh,
It-
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Kind of does. Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
That's all right. And like the medicine ball. And like in real life, it's a medic used to kind of make people like vomit kind of any kind of crap that's in them to like help them be better. It's I was like found it interesting following her logic. Like she's been given this gift by this great spirit. She understands this thing must be really good. She tastes this like, ugh. But in her head, it must taste like medicine. So she's like, actually, let me keep this. I can use this for my parents. This should be medicine. But then she used half of it for Haku and half of it for No Face, just thinking, oh, this is medicine. This might help you. And it's the right thing. It's like the spirit gave her what it knew she would need, but she didn't know she needed, of course. I just kind of found that cool, and her kid logic kind of realized, oh, this is medicine, and used it for the right purposes. Because yeah, it's like, oh, it tastes bad. Must be medicine because it must be good. Ooh. I find that cool. But
Speaking of
just-
which, I need to take mine. I'll be back.
It's just one of those things like you help someone and that helps you help someone else and that helps you help someone else. And like, yeah, it's just a very wholesome kind of thing. And I think there's something with Chihiro is she never takes anything she doesn't need. Like,
Mm.
and initially that's because she's afraid of consequences, but it kind of the motivation of it changes, and it's when No Face offers her gold, she's kind of like not a priority right now. Don't need it. I've got to help Haku, and I think that's like I think that's one of the like it's a really subtle character arc where it becomes like I don't want to eat the food because I'm going to get in trouble. To I don't want to take the gold because I've got something else is happening right now. I'm doing something. I'm helping someone, and I don't have time. And it's just like a self-confidence kind of thing. And yeah, I think that's all. I don't know. I really like that it's not necessarily spelled out.
yeah,
But when she's introduced, it's kind of like I don't want to be here. I don't want to move away from my friends. I don't want to be in a new place. I don't want to go and explore. Fuck that. I don't want to eat the food. I'm gonna get in fucking trouble if I eat the food. And then by the end of it, she's just kind of like she knows what she wants to do and why she wants to do it, and she's just kind of like she just has the confidence to kind of listen to herself. And it's not coming from a place of fear; it's coming from a place of like assurance. And it's like I really appreciate that it's not no character had to go, wow, Chihiro, you're a lot more confident now. You have a lot more assurance than you used to. She just it's just kind of there, and it's there for you to sort of pick out.
I guess the Americans have thought differently, but yeah.
Yeah, the Americans obviously needed that, but she's more confident now.
You just helped me figure out, like, I don't have a favorite scene, but I have like favorite scenes. And besides the one just for stylistic reasons of when she's pulled through all the different rooms right near the beginning by Yubaba, which I just find really cool. A lot of my favorite scenes, I think, are things where she's showing that self-confidence as she's developing. So besides the medicine scene, you've got the scene where the scene where she goes on that train. She's just going on that journey, that whole thing, like you said, the no face chase, the scene where she's helping the water spirit, the scene where she's falling in the sky. I mean, at first I thought, okay, you're not flying. Are you going to be okay? You kind of eventually I was like, well, they're not worried. I guess he can just fly in his human form, I assume, whatever. But I'm just like, maybe you should fly now. But anyway, even that scene, like where she helps him, like tells him his true name, it's all those kind of moments where she's really, yeah, her confidence in herself. And then when she wins the game with Yubaba, she's like, yeah, my parents aren't here. So you sure? Yeah, they ain't. And everyone's like, yeah. It's the little wins and the big wins that I think are my favorite moments for Chihiro throughout the film. Because, like you said, she started out just so like, don't want none of it. I'm scared. Don't want to do anything with this. I get in trouble. And she builds that confidence and self-assurity, and it's great. Even when she's cleaning the floor at the start, when she's tripping up, but she's like, let me keep going. She doesn't give up. It's just all those moments of persistence. One moment I felt for her where I was just like, you're scared of heights. I don't blame you. I mean, I would be definitely scared as an adult at that height, and you're a kid. That seems even more higher. And a plank broke as well. Man, that must have been crazy. Like, imagine a plank breaks. You've got almost nothing between you and just the ground, which is way too far away. You're like, ah! Oh, great, yeah, great moments.
So your favorite moment is child endangerment.
No,
No,
It's always my
Okay.
favorite bit. I'm happy for it.
But yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah. It's one of the more exciting parts during what is supposed to be after a quiet part. So it's like, yeah, it gets you back into the something's happening, and it's like, yeah, it's great.
yeah. Random part. I thought about it, but didn't think too much. The bouncing light at Yanni Baba's place, or I forgot her name, but yeah, it was a reference to the Pixar kind of light, but I wasn't sure at first if it was on purpose or whatnot. They even included like similar sound for when it is bouncing around.
I mean, from what I remember, like the reason that this movie got made the way that it did, especially for like the Western audiences, is because Pixar, or one of the main animators or producers of Pixar, went, if we give you this amount of money, we want 100% of all North American distribution rights and everything there. It has to come from Pixar. And he went, yeah, sure, why not? And that's the reason why it has probably quite a few like Disney and Pixar voice actors, because I know that Lynn is actually who plays her voice actor in the Western dub is like Meg from like Hercules. And then afterwards you have like, he's in all the other Pixar animations, like he plays Ham in like Toy Story. What's his fucking name?
John Ratzenberg.
Oh yeah, he's in this movie as well. I was like, oh, weird. He's the guy who gets eaten by No Face. And I'm like, oh right, I did not know that as well. It's just like, oh yeah, it's just a lot of like Pixar and Disney people are in this film. So it's
The
quite
guy-
like, oh,
The guy who voices fuck, what is it called? Kamaji. He also voices Jumbo in Lilo and Stitch, and he also voices Governor Ratcliffe in Pocahontas, and he also voices Cogsworth from Beauty and the Beast.
yeah, see, so a lot of like this lot of Pixar and Disney people are in Spirited Away. So that's probably
Cool.
helps it getting like commercialized and like marketed as well in the West. So that's probably,
Good casting.
yeah, great casting, yeah.
Oh, makes sense.
Yeah.
Who are favorites?
Ben, you got a favorite scene?
I sort of went over mine with the sludge monster spirit guy. That's probably my favorite moment. And Alec kind of mentioned another good one with No Face, the chase of No Face, whatever it is. That was also great. There's lots of great moments in this film. So it's a really hard one to kind of like narrow it down. Even the bits where Aiku transforms into his dragon spirit form. and he's just being chased by the paper little people, dragonfly things, whatever they are.
Yeah, it's
Little
it's
moments like
supposed to
that
be.
are great. And then he's seen
The Shinigami Talisman paper.
with
Yeah.
the giant baby that he was great as well.
Oh, you're
You know-
such a big baby. Oh, you did-
Speaking of voice actors, the Japanese actor for the baby was the main guy in Yona.
Oh, that's all.
Is it? That's amazing.
Nah.
He grew up
The-
so fast.
The
Oh, fucking hell.
who Alec?
Taki from Yona,
No, I mean who did he play in this film? Or
the
Haku?
baby.
The baby.
Oh, the baby. Oh,
That's
that's
amazing. That's
good.
actually amazing.
I thought you was gonna say Haku because Haku has played in a lot of like well-known Japanese films after this as well.
Oh,
So he's had a decent career after this.
But then again, this film has been because of its fame and reputation. I think there is actually a live action theater version of Spirits of the Way, and that's actually like
Mhm.
a play. And I'm like, I wonder how. I mean, they've done quite a lot of that stuff for a lot of like famous animes. I think there's actually like a stage play version of Bleach, but that's a whole other conversation in itself. But like for Spirits of the Way, they did like a stage play version of it, and I hear it's actually quite well made. I don't know how it's done or what it looks like, but it's like, okay, might as well. Like, that's it. That's interesting to know how popular it is. I guess it's kind of like not many are like apart from like Lion King, not other like animations get like a stage or a musical version. Oh wait, no. I only know two. There's Lion King and Frozen. But apart from that, I don't think anything else has like a stage or play version. So I think that's actually a credit to itself, to the film and like the story itself. Because if it can get like a stage version, it's probably it's just that popular.
I would be surprised if the stage play. And sorry, I was also seeing what Pat sent. It
What
was
did
kind of
that send?
something theory about Barbie and Bratz being in Barbie or something like that. I didn't listen to it properly.
Yeah, watch it later on. It's actually quite interesting.
It's just the thing about Mattel and like them trying to make a Mattel universe.
So no, it's basically Bratz is considered a direct nemesis to Barbie in terms of like girls' toys, I guess. And you've not seen Barbie, have you?
Not yet.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I mean-
once you've watched it, it'd probably make more sense.
Yeah.
It's probably the most interesting part of it completely for me. Is the one bit where there's a bit of a rivalry.
Well, that sounds like it makes sense.
Yeah. It might be like a coincidence, but I quite like the idea of it.
Barbie cinematic universe. That's what you're liking the idea.
Nah,
If there's
it's
like a Bratz, and
it's
afterwards,
more
I think
it's more of like a crossover rivalry.
yeah, but like afterwards, because I remember someone posting it up. They said that he's gonna make if it's the cinematic
Oh,
universe, they
yeah.
have like Polly Pocket
There's-
movie.
there's
It's like the whole fucking
14 I think there's like 14 different properties in development now, including a sequel to Barbie
hooray.
and a spin-off Ken film.
Yeah, interestingly
Apparently.
enough, Greta Gerwig has said she is not planning to do the sequel.
But
So,
it was a weird answer she gave. She's like, she doesn't plan to do any films, but she hasn't ruled herself out of it. It depends
Yeah.
how she feels at the time.
so it's money then, probably. This is the
What
interesting thing.
what would the tagline for the sequel be? It'll be Barbie 2 Life is Plastic.
Maybe. This is not bad to show.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
Barbie 2, even more pink.
Okay, yeah, no, yeah.
Barbie
Yeah.
2, because it'll annoy Pat.
Yeah, the patterning.
I mean, it could just be like because of the Oppenheimer thing. It could be Barbie 2. It's the bomb. I don't know. It's just like I don't know. It could be anything really. It could be really so. I mean, you give me that look, but you know that how like certain marketing people make a really stupid, shitty pun for a movie.
I
And
mean,
you
look
like-
at the ones that Ben gives.
Yeah.
you just look at it, but you're like, you know, it could happen, especially after this you've had the conversations about all the elemental puns in the movies. Yeah, it's one of those.
As someone who works in marketing, it does hurt my soul.
Any case, is there any other like favorite scenes or like any other like end comments that you guys need to make for the movie? I feel like what like an ending statement for you, Emmanuel?
It good.
It could.
Oh man, I'm glad I finally gotten around to watching it. To
Oh wait, you hadn't seen it before.
yeah, no,
Well, goes my theory. I was like, oh,
Wait,
it's goat rounds. Emmanuel's got to have watched this one.
I think you must have fell asleep when Emmanuel announced it last week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I fell asleep well before then,
Mhm.
and I
Yeah.
didn't actually know what I was watching until yesterday.
Oh,
Oh wait, yeah, I forgot that because I said, oh, at least he's not the host of the call.
Yeah, because I woke up a few hours later. I was like, huh, my laptop's still on.
It's disconcerting when it happens.
And then I just fell back asleep.
Oh man, but yeah, I'm glad I finally got to see it. It's a great fun film, a feel good film, and yeah, I think I'll try to make an effort to see some more Studio Ghibli films. I have been meaning to anyway, but I think I might make more of an effort to. Yeah, glad you guys liked it and thought it was good.
We're glad you liked it and thought it was good
And
because we can never tell.
It's the
Embarrassing if you didn't.
what'd you say?
Oh, if you hated it, that would be a very embarrassing turn of events.
oh, that would be heartbroken.
Yeah, that would have been
Absolutely
the worst.
heartbroken.
That would have been the worst, like, unpredictable thing of all in film club history.
It's also the highest Pat's rated any of my animated picks. Actually, no. Did you rate your name as high, Pat?
Nah, I didn't like Your Name at all.
Yeah, so it's
It's
like
the highest line. I did like this. I think the more that I listen to you guys talk about it, the more I've appreciated it as well.
That's good. That's good.
Because I think
Is-
there was elements that I wasn't too sure what was going on, but I think I'm on board with it now. So yeah, it was a very good pick.
A worthy
good.
pick for Goat Round.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good.
The
Uh,
best film Emmanuel's never seen.
Yeah, probably. I don't know, maybe.
so whose pick is it next?
Simon,
It's Simon's pick.
Simon,
I'm very nervous.
So,
your legendary pick.
Here we go. Let's do it. Strap yourself in, folks.
no. Continuing the
Hold
Studio
on to your
Ghibli- no,
asses.
No, I was gonna say continuing Studio Ghibli. No. So, this pick, I think, is Rob still on? Or Rob, you still there?
He's got a deadline.
All right, yeah. Essentially, I told Rob I had two choices for films that could be greatest of all time. This was I asked him about it, and it's like, oh no, this is like not a typical or like, by the numbers pick. So I was like very happy about it. This is the pick that is supposedly a lot of people's favorite movies, and I'm not 100% sure why. Because it's like one of those films that are like, everyone thinks it's great. Not it's greatest of all time? Question mark. It's one of those films that I think I like, but I'm not quite sure if I know the reason I like. The film I've chosen is Forrest Gump.
Oh,
Yeah, I feel like it's the movie that everyone seems to like.
yeah, I
I'm
love
not-
that film.
I'm not quite sure if I like it as I don't feel like I like it, but I don't feel like I get it 100%. So it's kind of the films. It's like it's the greatest of all time, because, and then it becomes and it becomes a question of like what is the greatest film of all time, which is the thing that is debatable, obviously. So this is the film that we've got to discuss because I'm not sure why everyone likes it. I think I really like the film, but can't quite remember why I like the film. So that's the reason why I chose it. It's Forrest Gump because it's the greatest film of all time.
I love Forrest Gump. I wouldn't necessarily call it the greatest film of all time, but I definitely think it belongs in like that top 100 list that like IMDb or other film sites tend to put it in. But yeah, we'll talk more about that next week. It's probably going to be the highest that I've rated one of your films as well.
That's fair. That's fair. There is well, should I say what my second pick was?
What was your second one?
Should I explain? Okay. I don't think Alec would choose this film. At least I hope he doesn't have that same mindset. It was supposed to be the greatest movie speech of all time. That if I had like a previous week beforehand, I would have chosen this film differently. It was going to be Independence Day, but the greatest movie of all time, the greatest speech.
Simon,
that speech
there was absolutely no danger of me picking Independence.
okay. But Independence Day was what my second choice was because it was the greatest movie speech of all time, the goated movie speech. But yeah, I'm glad I chose Forrest Gump more. Forrest Gump is the actual choice.
When you said the greatest movie speech, I thought you were going to say A Few Good Men.
Robs did say that beforehand, but that's not what I thought about. I was thinking it was either Braveheart or like Independence Day. So it's like no, I chose Independence Day because I'm that sort of person just to choose Independence Day.
And
because
Braveheart's already been picked as well.
Is it? Oh right, okay, never
Yeah.
mind. Then.
That was Pat's second pick.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh shit. But so yeah,
God
Forrest
damn.
Gump is my
Forrest
choice.
Gump came out a year off Rolls.
I just kept running.
The summer after I was born.
Ironically, that quote, Pat. So yesterday, well, today's already tomorrow, Friday. I actually sent a sound bite of myself saying that quote when he talks about how he just kept running.
Yeah.
This kind of Actors Guild thing that this guy I've done some cleaning jobs for. He runs like an actors kind of thing, and he was asking if I could send him like a sound bite so they could get the accent down well. And I was just like, let me do one from Forrest Gump. And that's it. So that's quite funny. But yeah, I haven't seen this since I was a kid, and I remember almost nothing of it. So it would be like I was seeing it new. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited for this.
Yeah, so I haven't watched it for like the longest time, but it's like I remember it being like everyone's like one of the top picks that everyone did like as a film. So I was like, yeah, sure. That's why I've got it for Goat Round. So
This will actually be the second time that I've watched this year because I actually had to use it for a bit of marketing material because we were doing film posters and I had to watch it to hunt around for a little bit of a quote that I could use, like just as like a little bit of social media copy. And it was something about we can keep your printer running and running and running.
oh, fucking hell, you really do work in the marketing
Thank
section,
you.
don't you?
It's horrible, isn't it?
Well, actually, what depends? What's the printer dressed like him? If it was, then it'll be excusable.
No. No, it was a really cool little movie poster we did there. It was really nice.
Okay.
It
But yeah,
was
Forrest,
super tasteful.
okay, but Forrest Gump is my choice. Rob knows about this already because I told him like beforehand about it, and he like said it wasn't that bad idea. So I was like, yeah, Forrest Gump is one of my choices. All right.
Wonderful.
I
Looking
do-
forward to this.
Honestly, kind of insulted that you were like, Alec might pick Independence Day.
It could have picked anything, to
I
be
better
honest.
not.
Like, I mean, like, yeah, I could have been. It could have been any. I don't know what you could have chosen. I mean, I don't know what film is out on my list, on your list. There might be like a clash, and we're gonna go, oh yeah, because like there was a clash for one of the worst films, which is Street Fighter. That was on my worst list.
Oh
But
my!
John both picked up this. I'm like, fucking hell. We do have a slight say, oh yeah, we do have a slight connection with that. Fucking hell.
But if you're ever in
Yeah.
doubt, you can see my upcoming picks on my tab.
I
So,
wish
You
I
can
have-
control it and change it up and put all sorts of things.
Yeah,
I've got it all like written down on my notes. So we like keep it close to your chest for now, just to see. It'll be a surprise. I feel like that'd be interesting to do.
that's okay.
Okay, but yeah, Forrest Gump is my choice, and I feel like you guys will also enjoy the film. I feel like I have to really rewatch it because I can't remember why I liked it as much as I used to. But
Mm.
yeah,
Just
Cool.
to talk Street Fighter very quickly.
Oh no.
okay.
I get why you picked it, but I wish you picked either like Tomb Raider or something else or Resident Evil. So many, there's other films you could have picked, but to pick that, I was just like, it's like what you would pick for bad movie round, or the bad movie you love the most.
Yeah, that's what it qualifies as.
You know what,
Hey.
Manuel? That's
Or it-
your opinion.
Or it's greatest bad movies. And I think that's the angle he came at it at.
Okay. Mm,
But that's not what this round was about.
okay. Hey, but Pat, at least he wasn't choosing Monster Hunter. Am I right, man?
Oh, that film was so shit.
I mean, like, the only thing that, as a person who loves to play Monster Hunter, I have to give credit for is the monster designs and stuff were pretty fucking spot on. Everything else was fucking horrendous.
There was
monsters-
hardly any dialogue, and the dialogue that we did get was horrendous.
Mm.
The monsters were designed quite well. The world was very empty. So from what I've played of even the PS4 Monster Hunter, the world seems quite well laid out. Like there's interest everywhere. But like for the first 40 minutes of the film, it was just dead.
Yep. This
Uh,
guy's in a Jeep driving in a desert. That was it.
It's just that Paul Anderson guy's excuse to just say, "Look, this is Mila Jovovich. This is my wife. Look how pretty she is."
Yeah, I mean, it's just so he can like complete his cosplay fetishes, and that's what it is. Everyone says that.
No, it
Anyways,
was, and like, I know the Resident Evil films aren't well received, but they're at
way
least
better than Monster Hunter.
yeah, they're at least fun, even though they're very much not like Resident Evil after the first film, because the first film was actually pretty on point, and then they just got a bit weird. But Monster Hunter was, I wouldn't say as bad as Dragon Ball Evolution, but it's in that ballpark.
Mhm.
Did you ever see
At least the
last
monsters
Resident
look
Evil?
right, I guess.
Did you ever see the last Resident Evil film?
I haven't watched anything. Oh, the one that came out last year.
Yeah.
It's on my watch list because it's on Sky.
Oh man, there's one scene in it that just I was crying in the cinema because there's like this big kind of like Colossus type dude, and he like basically like so there's like a police station and he just like walks through the wall and there's loads of chaos going on and he's like walking through fire and just like going wherever he wants. And as he walks into this police station, the guy behind the counter's got his earphones in. So this guy is just walking in, looking terrifying to a Leanne Rimes song, and it caught me, man. I couldn't stop laughing.
I think I'm gonna have to watch this now.
Okay. But yeah,
Rob, did you meet your deadline?
I did just about.
just good.
Yeah.
good.
Just about.
Did you have anything else to say about Spirited Away?
Oh no, it's all right.
Right.
But
So,
Did you hear
I'm
what-
glad we finally got a Ghibli film club at least.
Did you hear what we've got next?
Is it Forrest Gump?
It is
Yeah.
Forrest Gump.
Nice.
I'm very excited.
I haven't watched
That'd have been
Forrest
bad
Gump
if
for
you were like,
ages,
"Oh,
man.
is it Independence Day?"
And isn't
I
it like
thought it was, I thought it was a different film. Which
No, I think I messaged you last time, and you were like, "Oh no, Forrest Gump is not by the numbers. It's actually quite interesting." I was like, "Okay, fine." Woof, woof.
Simon
Okay.
was worried that I'd pick Independence Day.
weird. So this is weird, right? Because I thought your other film was something else, but it's also Independence Day. Because I thought your other film was Born on the 4th of July.
the when he said it was the greatest movie speech, I thought it was A Few Good Men.
Yeah, Rob, I think you said that as well.
Yeah. I think when you said it was the greatest speech, I was like, oh, A Few Good Men. Yeah. But no, for some reason I thought you was going to do Born on the 4th of July.
Jula.
You sounded very southern, Rob.
Yeah,
When you
You
said,
sounded like a southern.
when you said greatest speech, I thought you was gonna take the piss and joke and say Pacific Rim.
Oh, fuck.
Whoa.
Today we are canceling the apocalypse.
Fuck it. Pacific Rim wishes it was fucking Independence Day. That speech. Fucking
Ah,
it
man.
wishes it was.
I love that film
It,
for how
it dreams
cheesy
to
it is.
be Independence Day. Fucking hell.
I
I
like
don't-
that film, and I don't like that speech at all.
Oh god,
Uh,
that was a long day when we went to watch that.
You hated the idea of going to watch it.
fucking
I
hell.
remember you and Dan were like, I don't want to be here. I was really excited, and Ben was content.
I was very excited. Ben was content.
That's like
Of-
that Futurama episode. That makes sense.
I just love the idea that Pat's just sitting there going, and he's looking over at Ben, and Ben's just like,
True story.
no, Ben.
Yeah, anyway, I'm going as well. See you later, guys.
See you later.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
great.
in a bit.
See you next week.
Uh,
Right.
Bye.